CooleCast with Ron Ewens.
Oh, for flip's sake. That'd be funny as fuck.
Evil bastard.
Right, so we're ready, yep. Stop laughing. So welcome along. It's the third episode of the It's All Gone Wrong podcast with me, Ron Ewens, in case you didn't know. And today we've got my longest, bestest friend, 30 bloody years known each other. And I thought it would be interesting to get him down because we got to be friends through music and our ambition of trying to be successful DJs. But here we are 30 years later and we haven't done it. So,
You're a couple of runs up a ladder anyway.
let's find out what went wrong. Let's find out what went wrong.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah. So tell me where you grew up and stuff like that there.
Born and bred here. Newton Abbey, Rathcoole. I'm still can't get out of the place. Yeah, I lived all over the estate. Was in Carrickfergus for a wee while. That's about it.
When you said you were going to give short answers, like I thought,
that's it. What else do you want me to say? Here?
What was it? I know you grew up like in Rathcoole. So we both grew up in Rathcoole in the 80s, which was an absolute dump at the time. Did you ever see the video Rathcoole at the Crossroads?
Don't think so, no.
No, it's floating about on YouTube. It's like a wee short mini documentary about Rathcoole in the 80s. And you see some people you know in it, like Dickie Garrett and stuff, like people talking, Dickie Russell and stuff. And they're talking about Rathcoole, like it's saying it used to be 13,000 people used to live in Rathcoole. It was the second biggest housing estate in Europe or something like that there?
Second or third, I heard.
So 13,000 people lived in it back in the 60s and 70s. But by the time the 80s came around, half the people had moved away. So it's only 7,000, I think, at the minute. So there was like half of the houses were unlived in back in the 80s. And you can think back at like all the flats, the empty flats and the banana flats and, you know, all the other wee bits are all here. The Diamond's completely changed now, like.
Yeah.
And they were talking to the sort of kids, what do you think about growing up in Rathcoole? And if you can think back, like, remember, all I can think about laying around the place was like broken glass and, you know, like stuff laying all around the place.
Yeah.
It was like a full tip head, wasn't it? Like,
sure. Remember the VG, you had the carpet place above it with the toilets facing it, and it was always stinking of piss. Then the wee squirrel post office beside where the flats used to be and all.
I used to live the carpet place when I was a kid. I used to go in and just roll around the carpet, and that smell of the smell of it was lovely, like. But I was a real dump, and the kids were saying, like, you know, there's no actual park in Rathcoole for a.
Fuck.
Do you remember? Like, there was no actual kids park for the closest one was well over the valley.
Yeah, that's true.
For 8,000 people, like.
But then you had to go to the 10-pin bowling up the stairs to play the arcade games and all.
And over the valley.
Yeah, that's because there was the first, like the Amstrad was the first computer that I had.
Yeah.
And it was like the games didn't load. I was telling Adam out there about it. It used to, and half a game didn't load.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it was the Nintendos and the Segas and all. But
sometimes I got an Amstrad game and you got to like the first level and then cleared it and then
just
you were just walking around and there was no other way to get to the next bloody level. You're like, what the hell?
Yeah.
So it was, childhoods were pretty crap, I must say. So
that's all what happens, music. That's
that's kind of getting that, like, and I think it's sort of similar for people now. Like, I think people have to have an ambition and something to strive for, and that there's what gets you out.
Well, we have baits and all. I know we're getting a bit ahead, but it was something to focus on.
Yeah.
Something for us to do, and it was to make a tape covers and stuff, and because there was computers we didn't have, and you could go in, it was somewhere to actually express your creativity.
Baits for people that don't know, it was in the Rathcoole Youth Centre. They had this wee sort of room with like computers.
Yep. And
everybody just sort of went down, and that was the only place you could go.
They had internet. One of the computers in the corner was the first to have internet because nobody had ever seen any of it. Of course, they're looking at all the stuff they shouldn't be looking at, but you had to take a turn to get on it.
Remember, I used to beak off like school and like work when it was meant to be doing our price, just to
Yeah.
go down and make tape covers and flyers and stuff like that there. That was the only shining light, I think, from our childhood, other than violence and like my earliest. What's your earliest memory?
Yeah, we've talked about this before. You have a lot. You can remember a lot more than what I can. I suppressed a lot of it, to be honest. But I can remember living in Carrick because I lived in Carrick for a couple of years before I was born. Whenever I was born, I was brought to where I live now, in Barna Square, folksy. And yeah, so it was Glen. What do you call the top of Carrick?
Glenburn?
Glen View or Glen something or another.
Oh,
Anyway, it was up our
Glenfield?
Yeah, Glenfield. That's exactly it. So one of my earliest, I can remember one of my neighbours up there, but I don't know if that's because of pictures. Because my nana used to have like a cubie, all these pictures on them, and I think I'm associating.
It's imprinted in memory.
Yeah, that's like that was early. So I moved up here when I was about 3 or 4. So that was probably before that. What's your earliest?
And my earliest one is throwing stones at the Catholics in nursery school. Do you remember Stella Morris?
Yeah.
Stella Morris. So Stella Morris was a Catholic school, and on this side of it was sort of Rathcoole, but they had a fence, sort of going right through it. But they used this part of the building for Rathcoole Nursery School, and so we used to go up the side, and the kids used to come down, and we used to throw stones at each other over like at nursery school age. That was like, this is how you play. This is what you do. This is what life is. I'll never forget that there. Like and then you were throwing stones at the next street. They were throwing stones at you, and it was just like, I think maybe looking back now, it was seeing the rats everywhere, and then you were hearing about Rats of the Diamond every week. So you thought that's what life
That's what
is.
everybody done.
That's what you that's what you do. Because I say there's no and a lot of people was unemployed. You were just like drinking, and then it was just violence and fight.
There was nowhere to go, nothing to do. You had to make your own fun.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. And yeah.
Waking up the next morning and hearing such and such had been shot, or he got his arms broke, or thing he was fighting and he got a hatchet in the back, and
My auntie was telling me it's whenever I was bringing her back from the hospital the other week, during the troubles, there was one of the windows. The bomb went off in Belfast. Don't know where it was, but it was close to where she was working. And the girl that was standing beside her, the window pane fell down and cut her head in half. She was covered in the blood, and took the ambulance took her. Like, they didn't know that it was the other girl's blood on her,
Yeah.
but that just shows.
and the shock was probably like, is this mine? Or you
Yes, like somebody was watching it over. Like, it's
yeah.
like that was right beside her. It's crazy how things work out.
You never knew the moment, did you? Like,
No, all the smoked meat sales used to
Aye.
go in.
that's when I got a pair of trainers. It was like, you need new pair of trainers, Ronald.
Yep.
I was like, I know. It's like, we'll wait until the next firebomb sale in the chat. No, what do you call it? Ski and sports. Chat?
Skiing sports, yes, skiing
The next
sports.
fire
always
sale,
got it.
we'll get you.
Yeah.
Get you a
But
pair of
Geno's
trainers.
not all the ones. I don't even know what's in Belfast now. I haven't been in so long. But what used to be where the Man United chaps know where we got
Yeah.
the tape cover, or the tapes and all. The pasting tables used to be at the front
Uh-huh.
because it was the Liverpool. I think it was Liverpool shop. But yeah, in there it was Geno's or something. I can remember going in there and you're hooking through all the clothes to get something that's not as dirty with a blanket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, because you like firebomb sale. If it had one wee bit of damage on it, it had to go into that bucket. So you were getting a brand new pair of trainers with a wee black mark on it, for like half the price.
But you
Or
were
something.
walking about these shops, like the bomb went off and they tried to make it safe, but it's fucking the roof and all, it's still leaking. And fuck's sake.
I know, you just sort of live.
Health and safety these days, I make you go with your hat and all on.
You even go into the valley for a swim, then you were getting in there, and everybody has to get out. There's a bomb scar, and then you have to get out. You have to go and wait outside, and you're towel and wait until it got the all clear to go back in. Mental. Well, that there sort of it made us a character, like, living through out there. But so nobody had aspirations to get out of it. You just thought that was it. So when did music sort of, you found that music sort of was like an escape, really?
Yeah, distraction, escapism, that's what it's turned into now. But yeah, it all started with, I can remember, well, Queen. I can remember Queen, The Invisible Man. And I was going side to side listening on earphones. I was going from side to side and I was like, how are they doing that? And then I can remember my ma's Thriller record and The Winds of Change. You ever done The Winds of Change? And yeah, it was a yellow Fisher Price record. Thank God knows what age it was. And I was scratching them all up and fucking them about. It's long before I had my own tape decks. Not like I was, kid.
So was this
Yeah.
scratching on them
Have
because you'd
yet.
heard it, or were you just
No,
going,
it was just with the needle across it. What's
what's
this
this
do?
sound?
Yeah. But I always remember it was the Winds of Change. You ever done that? And Michael Jackson,
Winds
Thriller.
of Change, Scorpions?
No idea.
Aye.
I remember, but yeah, it's just my mum had loads of records.
That
And
was
used to
a
just
belter of a track. Correct me if I'm wrong, James, but that only got to number 2. And it should have got to number 1, but it was because of Brian Adams. Nothing I Won't Do was at
Is that
number
right?
1 for about 3 months. um,
Wait.
I just got a click there. Is it 1 click for yes, James, and 2 for no?
Your musical encyclopedia.
No, but I always thought, because I remember back at the time, because I absolutely loved that there one. I was
Yeah.
like, I can't believe this isn't number 1.
Yeah.
No, it's all right.
No.
Pull that shit up, James.
So from there, proper dance music, I can remember.
Can you remember it going, because we were all into like pop music was around, maybe some sort
That's
of
all there was.
rap
'cause
music.
It used to be the now CDs and even before that, the greatest dance hits or the greatest hits in the world, whatever it was. And then it would have been like The Prodigy. Remember No Good and Out of Space, Prodigy Out of Space.
So was that the first sort of tracks you
SL2 on a ragged tip. all
heard
that.
coming through? You went, oh, what's this new music?
Yeah.
It would have been a Prodigy and stuff.
But it was all, because it was all poppy stuff. But it would have been like, you got a CD for Christmas. It was like a double CD, so you just listened to that over and over again.
CD or a tape?
Well, that's when I had a hi-fi. Tapes before that, way before that, like proper
CDs
dance.
were about, came around in the
Yeah.
mid-90s, late 90s.
One of the Christmases I got a tape deck, and it was CDs from there, but I can't, yeah. That's so blurry
Yeah.
going back, but yeah, it was just the tapes that we used to follow, the tapes. That was just life before turntables, before anything.
Yeah.
It was just, yeah, went in the underground or snafu to buy them.
Yeah, I remember that, like, when it was coming through, like, you were hearing, like, the Prodigy, but it was Prodigy, Charlie Always Says.
Yep.
What is it? Charlie
Charlie.
Always Says, tell your mummy before
Yeah.
you go out somewhere.
Some
And
cartoon.
then it was like, people were like, what's this here? And then you started hearing the name Rave. And I think my first tapes was like Hit the Decks 3 and Your Name's Not Down, You're Not Getting In. Come on.
Bomb Skirt, 3 Bad Mates or something. Yeah.
And then Sesame Street. Remember
Yeah.
that one? So they were starting to make all these sort of tunes in this sort of rave style, and you were like, "What's this here?" And but you felt like a part of something. Like this is us. You know, this is what we're into.
Don't know what age it was, but it was a summer scheme in the youth centre across the street there, and it was Spaso who used to play.
Yeah.
And I can remember he always played. There was a song he played, Sweat. No, I wish I knew what it was. I still haven't found it this day. But it was all power, snap, power.
Yeah. Is that I Want to Make You Sweat?
No idea what it is, but I can always remember he played one. And I remember sitting on the stage listening while everybody was skating about. But it was all snap, Rhythm as a Dancer and all that sort of stuff. And TTF, Ultimate High, all that sort of. Yeah.
The first time I heard TTF, I went, you know, why my sister does the disco dancing. And they talked me into doing it for a few weeks.
Oh, we done plenty of discos for them too. Like. Yeah.
But they used to go to Butlins in Scotland every year, every Easter I think it was, and I used to go along. It was the best time in your life, like, because there was about 2,000 girls
and about 2 fellas.
But there was this wee under 18s called Busby's and thing, and you went in there and they were playing like I Got the Key, Got the Secret, and it was the first time I'd ever heard I'm in Euphoria with, and I went, holy fuck, what's this here? This is the best song I've ever heard in my life. But it was just like you had a strobe light going in your face and all, you know. It was just like
I remember QFX Energy as well. For some reason, we were down in Merville. There was whatever friends I was running about with at the time, and somebody was playing a tape on top of the car, and it was Energy. I need it. And I was like, what the fuck is that? God knows what age it was there too. So it was always about, it was just that, and then that went on to the band, the tapes.
Yeah.
It was just that.
Once you knew, like, because I think before there was not official tapes, but before there was like, you get to see mixes like that you were able to buy. But it was always somebody had a live recording of somewhere.
But that's all there was, because there was no charts for it.
Yeah.
There was no internet to go and find it. It was, you heard something, I was like, what is that?
So it was like it's like, remember Gold Dust trying to get the bloody rave tapes that you called them back in?
Even to find out the songs.
Yeah.
I can remember Danny's shop up in Lisburn we used to go to. It was Street Kids, Charlie Dunleary
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Theo. And we were searching and searching for a song. We couldn't find. We're like, what
Because we
is
were
this?
calling it Raven Beats.
Yeah, and I went up. I brought the tape in one week that it was going on because it was every week we were up there buying records or all the happy hardcore, and we was like, it's been here for months. There's there, and it was on the second side, the second song in. And
Did
it's
you
like,
find that
yeah.
there because of the cover? Because if I seen a cover of a record I didn't like, for some reason I never even went to play
Yeah.
it to listen to
Yeah.
it for some reason. And that cover's like it's a sort of like rap, like rap music cover.
Yeah.
And then that would have put me off, even if it was sitting there. Street Kids, the name, it's like kind
No.
of.
I hadn't
No.
a clue what it was called, just because that's what you were going by. It was that song that has these vocals in it.
No.
That, yeah.
So going back just before that, there, like, so we started hearing like the rave music and stuff.
Pablo Concarno.
Yes, I was just about to bring him up, like
Hellraiser,
the
yeah.
Hellraiser,
that,
ones.
That was about P6, P7 for me. And I
Mm.
can remember that was the first. Remember being in town one of the times with my cousin.
This would have been 92, would have been 92, 91, 92.
Yeah, something around there, yeah. And I had pennies in my pocket. It was in my auntie, she was in Boots or whatever, and me and my cousin went round the underground. I know Jimmy said it was called something else, but I always knew it was underground. And I just, all these pennies and just went in to give me tapes. And I can remember going home, that was one of the first. And that must have been the start of Hellraisers.
Yeah,
Then I can remember P6, P7. It was Bow 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 and all the
Yeah.
rest of it.
I would have been first year then, if I can remember. All of them are coming in. And I remember listening to the Hellraiser tapes, like in my dad's flat, and laying in the bed in the pitch black,
Yeah.
closing my eyes with the Walkman on, and see that guy that does the MC. He was like, "This is Hellraiser, this is Hellraiser," and then the music, all that "Witty cha cha," and it just fucking freaked me out big style. Like I started getting scared and all, having nightmares about this place called Hellraiser.
It really matched Belfast, but it was Ultrasonics podcast, Mark Lee. Fergie was on, he was talking about Carl Cox playing. That was
Yeah.
one of the first ones. And he says there was an actual bomb scare.
Yeah.
They all got fucked out and they were all playing music in the car park, and then they all got brought in for Carl to play.
Have you heard that there one?
Yeah, that's
It's on
brilliant.
YouTube because there's a bomb scare in the Ulster Hall. Everybody out the back doors, please. And then they went out and they had the biggest rave in the outside the car park that anybody had ever seen.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible. But we were too young to experience all this.
Yeah, so we were just listening and imagining what it's like, imagining what the club likes, the lights are like, and just because you're listening to the live tapes, you're hearing the MC, you're hearing the crowd, and you're just going, "Wow, this
And
is."
they were all over 18s. It was Circus and Charlie Haggerty's or whatever it may be. But we were too young to go. We went to under 18s Kilwater once.
Waterhouse, yeah.
And that was the first time we seen Taser. Then we seen him at an under 18s in the Ballysill Leisure Centre as well.
Oh, I think the Unity ones, I think, was the first time I've seen Tizer.
Where was Unity?
Unity was the Ballysillan,
Oh, was it? Right.
the big one.
But that was the only time I'd been in Kilwater, like.
Uh,
And that was under 18s.
I remember that there one because it was the first time I'd heard Set You Free in about 5 years.
Mm.
And I was like on the dance floor waiting on the beat dropping. But it never came in because it's a break beat. But it didn't. I'd forgot. I was like, "When's the beat come in so I can go crazy?" But just never did. And then I listened. I was like, "Fuck, there never was a beat in that there."
But that's how songs got found. I can remember my mate's mum and dad came back from holiday. It's actually the place where the house party we met at when I was
Coppers?
first year. Yeah, we coppers. And his mum and dad came back from holiday. Would you hear this song that we heard? And it was what do you call them? Storm, not Storm. The fucking.
Oh, right in the
Right in the
night.
night.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was just
Jam and Spoon.
Jam and Spoon. That was a holiday tune that was brought back. I was like, what is that?
Yeah. Was at that party. So I'd have been second year, you'd have been first year.
It was
And
just
is
the
this where
first year, yeah.
Is
So,
this where we
yeah.
first met then?
Yeah, because I bought a jacket and snafu. And
Yeah. Because at the time, everybody had these like sort of bomber jackets and you had like the rave sort of
Well,
symbols.
they had the collars, but they weren't. The bomber jackets had no. But these were like the rave ones. That everybody had
Yeah.
one. There was all different pictures in the back.
Yeah. I had a Peaky Blinders one and you had a sun,
Your Dreamscape one.
was it?
Yeah, yours was Dreamscape. It said, and it was all like flashy.
Yeah.
What's that word? It's like it's
Yeah,
like,
like
a plastic on the back.
3D sort of.
Yeah, fucking 90 quid that cost
Aye,
that
they
jacket.
were there, but I seen yours in a Sun Vibe
Yeah,
or Vibalite.
Fabulate. It was a big event, apparently
Yeah.
over in the mainland. Fabulate, it was like a big sun with the glasses on it.
Yeah, so I'd
But
seen
yeah.
that one in a magazine and I wanted that one, but when we went into Snafu to get it, there was none, so then I got the one I got, and then
Everybody had the NASA ones. That was the
the
main
NASA
one. Yeah.
jackets.
Then they turned into what was the other, the four letters? It wasn't Fubu. I know you had the Stussy
Fubar?
stuff. You had the Stussy stuff, but remember the cheap jackets everybody got off the back of that had the four letters? Oh, fuck, I forget the name of them too, but it was, cheap shit. But it was, Stussy stuff and all. It was like all club wear.
Yeah, and so when we went in that party, in Copper's house, then I seen some fella wearing the jacket that I fucking wanted, and that was what I said to him one day. He goes, "You're wearing my jacket."
It was on the chair in the kitchen. You walked in and went, "Who owns this jacket?" And then I was, "Oh, me. Oh, where'd you get that?" It's not for you. Oh, right. Oh, yeah, you buy. Nobody had decks. Like you got your first decks. Was I second year? You got yours before Christmas
I
because
got
you were
mine.
already out of school.
Yeah, because I got expelled, and for a present.
I wasn't going to say that.
For a present, my mummy bought me a set of decks because she probably went, well, he's no hope with anything else. Well, we'll get him a set of decks. See how that goes.
And I was giving mine that Christmas, but as soon as you got yours, that was it for me every day. My ma sent me out to school every morning, and I made the lunchtime, if that, up to your house on the turntables.
I remember,
and that was
like, in my
every
house, in my room, there was like 13 people in at one
Yep,
stage, and
just-
I only lived in a wee box room.
just
smaller
going
than
round
this
in
here.
circles. Yeah,
everybody
bunk
having a
beds. Bunk beds. So you're under the bunk bed, but you're waiting your turn and you're searching through the records. What am I going to play? So you were
bad.
bad.
Records must have been about 10.
Yeah. But that's where you started buying the records before we had it. And it was all happy hardcore and stuff
Yeah.
that we were buying then.
So back when we were doing the tapes and stuff, it was still sort of rave music, hardcore. It's sort of the sound of it was sort of around, but there wasn't like an identity as much to it. People were just fucking playing whatever. Like I said, the Jamie like tricks started off with like house and finished with hardcore, but back then it was just sort of rave.
It was such a mixture. I remember the Darrell tapes.
The Darrell tapes, yeah.
Yeah, the Darrell, that's what started it all for me as well.
Because he played.
It was absolutely everything.
Aye.
And what I believe from NI Old School, it's really brilliant for the track list and stuff if you go on that website. But he played what came into the shop, so he was advertising what they have to sell. So it was just anything. I don't know, Darrell, I don't think, but them tapes were,
They were like, have you got Darrell 10, Darrell 18s out? And Darrell like,
one of our French classes actually in school, so this must have been first year when I was still going. She got us to bring in her songs because everybody was into this music, and it was Darrell and it was Pope and Annie or something. The African Bambata, Dr. DJ Sarla. Yeah, that was the one that I brought. It was on tape. No, so you had your bit and other people brought theirs in and stuff, but that was off a Darrell tape.
What did other people bring in?
Drove all night, and there was only about 5 or 6. But I thought it was a brilliant way for a teacher to actually get interest from the class because everybody was actually putting in effort instead of just talking to each other.
I remember in school, Mr. had done the craft design technology, and they were like hippies.
CDT.
They were like hippies. They were English. Can't remember his name, but he was would to make these badges and. Badges? We don't need no stick. But when they make badges, and then mine said Rave On it. Like Rave On, and he was like, "Oh, you into rave music?" And I was like, "Guy," he was like, "Back in Manchester, where I'm from, there's all these big raves and stuff." He was talking about the Hacienda and stuff that he went to, and but he was no thing. I had a bit of respect for him then after that there, but he always used to poke you, fucking in between your bones, in between your ribs. He used to do my head in.
I can't remember half of the teachers in school.
But
that's where I went from.
Just what sort of tapes then is your favourite then? Because we used to go to buy the tapes, like it was like me, you, and Harper, and whoever.
I was trying to explain this to somebody the way that they had it. It was just a plastic Perplex sheet, and you seen the back of the tapes. There were so many of them packed, and you were just looking and going through and picking what ones you wanted. So it was Snafu or Underground.
That was the real ones.
They were the real ones. Yeah, you had the pasting tables. You were taking a chance with them.
Yeah, that's the ones I used to get like. And we used to like We all did. Nobody got the same one because we were all like, "Well, could you swap each other so we can
But
copy?"
that was a Saturday before me and you was going on buying records. It was you trips in black taxi into town. If the shop wasn't open, I can remember walking about Leisure World for an hour waiting for because it was 9 o'clock. It was meant to open, but you
Leisure
wanted the
World.
latest taser tape, and you wanted and they weren't open, so you were hanging about down Leisure World waiting for it because they should be open at 9, but there's nobody there. They're probably out DJing the night before.
If anybody doesn't know what Leisure World is, it's the famous store in Belfast that sold millions of baseball bats with no balls. With no-
Oh dear,
but
it's a toy shop for fuck's sake.
but they must have sold millions of baseball bats, and not one person bought a baseball from it. Like, fuck it.
Yeah, it's just something to do until the place opened. And then, yeah, but that was it. Every week, just home with your new tape. And then
Listen to
you
it.
talked about it in school. It's like, oh, did you hear this? And did you hear this tune? And that's called. And then it was like, whenever you found out what one of them tunes was and you got it yourself, it was, wow.
And we used to go out every weekend, and somebody would have had a wee beatbox, like a wee tape, and used to put
That's
the
all,
tapes
yeah.
in, walk around with the music, and the computers crashed, I think.
Yep. No, but that was live. Notification.
James is on Facebook while we're doing a podcast.
But that was live. That's what we done. So this is before
I love those Saturday night.
This is how the community centre and all came about because that's all we done was walk about and we had nowhere to go.
So we were getting like up to near the end of like high school. Well, it was the end of high school for me. Then I sort of got a set of decks. But before that, there were band records because we knew we're hopefully going to get a set of decks soon. Like, so we'll start band records. What was your first one?
Talking.
You don't remember? Jesus. It's like your first girlfriend.
Yeah, but I got older ones and all too. I know yours was Scooter and back in time. Well, you bought it for Move Your Ass.
But
I just say it's back in time.
I'll say back in time now because it's more cooler.
Was it probably Scooter or something? But then was it some of the United Dance ones? I remember the first Christmas the first Christmas that I got my decks, I can remember it was all the Force and Style stuff. But there was a lot of the Universal Dance sort of stuff and all too. So yeah, probably would have been all the stuff from the Lisburn shop at the time, which was all happy hardcore. So about that early happy hardcore cheesy stuff.
It was an absolute nightmare, like, because I think then you weren't getting. I was saving up when at school. I was saving up. I was selling my dinner tickets and going without food, so I had money to buy a record at the end of the week.
Because they weren't cheap. It's like the white label. To start with, it was at least a tenner, and if it was a European
imports
one,
for £7 or £8.
like in the trance days, like just because you knew that, they were 15 and up sometimes.
I remember 30 quid for Loveline.
You paid 50 for Living Angel too.
It was not that long ago.
Recently.
Hope to have Robbie Nelson in here one day, and I'll ask him, does he want that back?
Did you tell Laurie you spent that the record?
No, so I've paid more than that there. Paid Float in the Bag, Uranus.
Yeah.
Sure, I had that there, and I lent it to Beller. Remember Beller?
Yep.
I lent it to him. Never seen him again from it.
How often did that happen? You just landed. Yeah, you didn't lend me it. That's my copy.
So he disappeared off the face of the earth, and I never had it. So I had to buy it again on Discogs about a year or two ago for 80 quid.
Yeah.
80 quid for a song I already had. So I just started getting records. I got expelled. Got my set of decks.
That's probably the best thing that happened, but it was you getting expelled because then it focused you doing that, and it focused me as well because it was something from. You're talking 7, 8 o'clock. It was the New Nabby Town service. Used to get that down home because I lived down the drive at the time, and dropped me off right beside the house. And I can remember driving down on the bus after leaving your house, like Stars. I think it was Abby's copy of Stars, and I'd never had it. And you're reading all the back of the thing and driving down the street. Yeah.
So I remember, like, after I got expelled, there were Mr. Lehman kept sending me homework to do, like stuff to do near the end of the week, and then had somebody to send it back in for me. And I'd done that there for about 3 or 4 weeks, and then I wasn't able to do it, and I just went, you know what, I'm not doing that anymore. And then I sort of went, the only thing I have now is the decks. I'm going to have to be a fucking successful DJ.
Yeah.
So I just 5 hours a day every day I was like on the decks. And then you used to come in after school. And I remember, like, was it Rock the Scott Brown?
Scott Brown. Rock.
Aye.
Right, that's just learning the scratch. But that's pretty. So
Because we always used to wind you up. Because every time you got that, you're rock. I mean, what was that tune?
Have you still got
Rock your
some?
body, pop up and up down.
Yeah.
Rock your body, pop up.
Yeah, Rock Your Body, I think it was called. Yeah, it was incredible. Have you still some of them tapes from the youth centre?
Not from the youth centre, no.
They would be interested.
I know, it's, we'd love them, like.
AMC's and all top of them.
I know, like Rob Double B, or no, Rob Double B or something, was it?
So, see the community centre at the bottom of Ballysildan we done?
Yeah.
Was that before or after? That's where I get hazy, because I remember it was James.
That was 1996.
Right.
So, I think at that stage, we were going to Rathfarn Youth Centre, and we talked Emmons into having a disco. I think was it me, you and Harper first?
But it went on for a while. No, it was the three of us. Well, I can't remember if I was right there at the start, but I can remember going away on the summer trips and all the rest of it. I remember wherever we went, we set up the decks and all in one of them places, and the girls were in one dorm, and we went out walking.
Went to Ballycastle.
Yeah.
We got out in the middle of the night.
And they found a big quarry. It was fucking...
Where Carl Palm put somebody's window in, so we had to run. But we were like, we seen the Port Rush 3 mile, and we were like, let's go to Port Rush. We walked about a mile, we got to that quarry, and then we went, fuck us, let's go back again. So it's middle of the night, what do we expect to find?
But all we
Big
wanted...
Dipper going?
the whole reason we wanted to do it was because we were setting the decks up.
Yeah.
We're going to have a disco here. That's all that mattered. Because,
like a rave in the dormitory. And the song that reminds me of that there was Gangster's Paradise.
Ah, Coolio, yeah.
Yeah. Gangster's Paradise. No, the hardcore one.
Couldn't tell you who done it, like, but yeah, I remember.
I can't remember that there, but that one was the big tune of the night then. And then me and Harper slipped into the girls' dormitory, and we were coming back out because we heard, the doors going, so that the leaders were coming. We're like, fuck, here they are. So we run back in and opened the door, and we thought we got away with it, and I run bang into Billy. Right into the back of him, I got there. And he was like, what are you doing? Get in the thing, in the bed.
And Jimmy was talking about, and Jimmy was doing his podcast, the cloud decks.
Yeah.
Remember Harper had them?
The cloud decks,
no
that's
pitch.
one,
As soon as he said that, it all came flooding
Yeah.
back. Because you couldn't mix a fucking thing. It was just like, it was all big. Was there a speaker and all attached? It was like an old big all in
he
one.
got like the leads for the speaker,
Right.
I think. But I remember that's when I said it. Then, like, I remember, like, before I had decks, like, you had two tape decks. So you were playing one and record 3 tape decks. Playing one, recording in the R, and then whenever you were like playing the R one, and stopping that one, and then playing and then recording it.
I
But
didn't
you
even
had to
have
hit,
the third.
you had to hit be completely silent because you heard you breathing and you heard you talking, and when somebody came in, you were like, shut the fuck up.
Once I got my hi-fi, my sister got a karaoke machine, so I was able to carry it in the room. So only had the 2, but it was lining up your song, so you would fast forward all the tapes. Right, there's that one. I've got that ready. Next one, and it was just a performance.
Yeah.
So you were just going for play that one, play the next one, and then you're, so that was before any equipment kind of thing.
I remember like Stuart Horace had like, remember the Monster Munch sort of thing that you put in the bike and you hit them and I went wee, like all the way effects. So we were putting that in the tapes and all, like it sounded like a wee effects, and then taking them into school and giving them to people, going, "There's our mixtape." Oh,
Yeah, I can remember selling the tapes, but that was it. It was making the tape covers to sell the tapes,
yeah.
and you're just copying, cutting them all out of the
Oh
paper.
Jesus, that was a nightmare. Like, you had to put the tape over the top, so the tapes were copy. You could
No, yeah,
the wee bits of
just a bit of paper rolled up and
in
sticking
the
in
wee
it.
thing.
But it was, you got the cheaper 45 minutes per side, but we were only doing half an hour per side. So you had to mark out where it was, rip all the shit out, and then tape it
Cut
back
the
together,
tape and then try and tape it back together.
and hope it stays.
I know, but when it goes, sometimes when it went round, it sort of fell out and it went in. Then you had to get the screwdriver, open it up, wind it all back again, and then do it again, put it on. Fuck, it was tedious. I had to do that. Whenever I was doing the Pond Grove, I sold about 50 of them there, like, and that was my
easy.
week, sitting in, fucking twiddling around with tapes just so we could do. Why did we only? I don't know.
It was your only source of income, but because you got it from, we're working, we were kids, and and it was passion as well. That's what you wanted to do.
So let's talk about so I think their first sort of gigs was the in the youth centre. I think then.
Was that the first? I can remember doing a school one. Remember doing a school one. I think me and you was meant to do it, but they wouldn't let you do it because you were expelled.
That's right. It was Bowie.
So this was before Boy. This was because whoever Mr. Lehman and Mr. Skelton, they were standing beside me. I just had the bit at the side, and it was Happy Hardcore that I was playing then. I remember Boy doing he done a big school disco, but that was, so I don't know if that was my first or community centre was my first.
I remember that school, the school one where Bowie was doing it, and he wanted us to do it with him, but he needed to lend my decks, so I brought my decks up, and then when I went in, they were like, you're not allowed in here. And I was like, what do you mean? It's like, no, just get out. You're not allowed in these premises. And I'm like, but I'm DJing tonight, and these are the decks for them. Or like, I don't care, just get out. And then I had to go out with decks, and Bowie was like, what do I got to do with no decks now? I can't do the thing. I don't know what he got. And I was like, I'm not letting you in now if they're not fucking letting me in.
You have a habit of lending your stuff out and not getting it back.
Remember
needles and
Dino McElwain, like, Jesus Christ, he used to borrow my stuff every week. Needles for about 3 weeks.
You're so gullible, but you keep giving him a fiasco now.
I know, but Dino was my next door neighbour, and he was the older cool guy. So we were like about 12, 13, but he was like 19, 20, and he was into his raves and going to all these parties. And I'd lent him a pippin needles or slip mats or something, and then I had to get my stepdad to go and take me to get them back. And I used to go around to like a flat in Rathcoole where they'd all been partying for 4 days and God knows what. And I had to go in amongst them to get my needles off him again and to come back
walking
out.
over all the bodies.
They're literally lying all over the place, like. Oh, it's crazy. Even last time we seen him, I remember, a few years ago.
Yeah, that's right.
That
was the party down Shore Road.
Just wanted to DJ at my 50th party. Was his 50th?
That's right.
40th?
Yeah.
We went in and he just sort of went, I'll start tonight. And then he just didn't come off to give us a go.
Yeah, he loved it.
We were sitting in the corner and he was just going all night long himself. He wouldn't even let us on.
Fucking mixing was perfect, but immaculate.
He was absolutely loving it, wasn't he? Like,
yeah,
it was as if he was playing in some big festival.
Yeah.
He was good at scratching, like, back in the time.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
I forget where we were now. Like, so.
They're talking about the first was
gigs,
it the community centre?
That was for me.
Because my memory's up left. I can't remember between the Palm Grove, the community centre, and like stuff that school and stuff.
So I think the ones we've done, my memory serves me right. We've done the community centre in Rathfarn a few times, and because they were going well, when I say well, there was about 30 people going. Of our friends.
Yeah, and that was packed out, but that was the 30 of us that was walking about Rathfarn.
Everybody was there. And then we said to the teachers, why can we hire out somewhere good? And we hired out the Fern Lodge. Remember that?
I don't remember that.
We hired out the Fern Lodge. We've done that. We says, can we get a big DJ? And we got Neil Urban to come down.
Right.
He came down and did it. I set my decks up. They were belt drives at the time. And he says, I'm not using them. And he put them to side, went back up to his house and got his techniques down. So that meant that we didn't know what the hell we were doing.
It was one of the first tapes I had too. It was from the what was a hotel down there at
Glenavna.
It was a tape that he done. I can't even. Anytime I was in, it was a hotel, but it was a tape that he had done in there, and it was Tall Paul Rock a House and all.
Yeah.
I used to stand in my back garden playing football, listening to that.
He was like massive.
Oh yeah. Now he had loads of tapes and all that back in the
10,000 mixtapes. Remember, it's right up in Baseline magazine. 10,000 mixtapes, and then I don't know what happened to him.
You bought. Remember going once to his house and you bought, what was it? Smile.
Yeah.
Your Smile. Charlie Lonoy's mental deal because he was getting ready all his hardcore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was good. I think after the Fern Lodge, then I think Jamesy started coming down. You bringing Jamesy down to the community centres, and he was MCing for us.
And how did we meet Jamesy?
Through Johnny Rosber.
Right. So I can remember knocking about him up in Ballysilland because he went to school with me. And so was that how I met Jamesy through him?
I think Johnny Rosber says my mate's an MC, the usual.
And I remember Lee scratching as well. I don't even remember how I met Lee. He was from Glengormley.
Lee Haslin or something?
I can't remember his second name. I think he's still playing Happy Heart
Lee
faster. Yeah, he was amazing at scratching. He was like wee Fitzy back then.
He's still going. I think
Yeah. I have no idea even how I met him. That's probably just from common interest,
I
like how
know.
me and
It
you
is.
met.
You hear, oh, were you a DJ? And then
Yeah.
you started just flipping.
I was going to people's houses and they would come to yours and you had a mix and you made a tape. The versus tape, so it was me versus
Ah,
no.
yeah.
And that all started from Taser and X-Ray and all. Probably before that.
That's it. Flipping. It was just music from the morning you woke up to you went to sleep, and then going to sleep with a Walkman around your neck.
You said it before, waking up, my battery's dead and it's going wah, wah.
Dead slow.
Yeah.
Nightmare. But that's all it was, just music, living music. So then,
What's changed?
I don't know. So what do you remember the one in Ballysillan?
Yeah. I can remember I was so proud of the tape.
Have you got yours?
I don't have a tape now, but I was so proud of the tape back then. Well, first, two things. I remember you were saying to Jimmy, when he done his, about, we played house at the start and then hardcore. I mean, nobody ever really wanted to play the house because it was just the start. But it was Quicksilver.
Yeah.
It was a Bellissima. It must have been Bellissima back then. But I can remember, and it was newer turntables of a belt drive once. And it was mixing absolutely, like you could lift your hands off it and it was going, out like fuck. So I was dead proud of this and I wanted to hear it in the tape. Remember letting my mates hear it. And you heard everybody cheering. Now, how many people was there? About 40, 50?
No, it was. It was packed there. About 100, I would say. Maybe 80 to 100 people. Whatever size the room was, it was jam-packed. Like.
This must have been around the times of Bonker CDs now, because I can remember letting...
It was 96,
Yeah.
because I still have it.
No. Do you still have it?
I've got mine. I've got the date it was, October 1996.
I want to hear a lot of this stuff you have, because I have nothing. But I can remember letting, it was big time. Let here he says, it sounds like there was two people there.
Yeah, because we were like...
all you heard was, you! It's fucking packed! They were on top of tables going nuts.
I
It
know.
was brilliant.
We'll have to stop the music and say, could you please get down off the tables, please? Down off the tables. They were going absolutely bonkers.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That was some night, like. We've done some really good. Remember Glengormley Youth Centre as well? We've done there.
Yeah, we've done a few up there. We've done a couple of dancing ones up there too.
But
the Glengormley one was good, yeah.
I remember the guy with the top off, and he was just
in front of the, yeah.
He was at the top off, and he was just staring right at the DJ box. But it must have been a reflection, so he was looking at himself. But because we were on the other side, we were like, "Is he looking at us?"
Just stayed there all night.
All we had then was that big speaker. You remember the big? I don't know what it was. It was a big square speaker.
And whose was it?
I don't know, but it never worked. And sometimes you had to fiddle with the wire, and it was like it cut out all the low frequencies or something, so you only got the high ones. And you were like at there, so half the night you were only getting like the high sounds, and then all of a sudden it just kicked in, started working, and just went boom, boom. We were like, "Yeah, that's us now." I remember now.
Yeah, kind of. I can remember the PV speakers.
That made it. Oh, aye,
Yeah, they were awful.
fuck. We could get rid of them. We dumped them 3 times, sold them, gave them away, and we still ended up back with them for fuck's sake.
But that's all we had. And, well, that was a mobile discos. That came a lot later. I hated doing that.
Soul destroying.
But that's what killed it for me as well, because that's the only place that you made the money.
Yeah, I'll get to there. Like, so we're doing the youth clubs and sort of shit like that there.
So you think it was youth clubs first, then when did the Palm Grove start?
Youth clubs. The Palm Grove started after the Fern Lodge one. I think we've done a few more in the youth centre, and then I think we said to them, "Can we hire out the Palm Grove?" And we hired out the Palm Grove, and there was like 60 people or something came to it, and then we were like, Marshall says, "Just want to do this every week," the owner of the place, and he was like, we were like, "Aye." So start doing it every week. And then we had our first Ralph Fern Fee Schenkel, and that rammed the place. And then from then on, it was flipping unbelievable.
Yeah, there were some good times in the Palm Grove. Right?
That was the place to be, like.
And that's where we both cut our teeth. Like, that's where you learned. It's people talk about reading the crowd and stuff, but I remember people saying like you could tell what was going to be played in the last hour, but that's because that's what worked, and that's what got the girls dancing. And if there was girls there dancing, then it meant the place there was other people there.
The under 18s, like I can remember DJing at it and sweat dripping off the walls. The mirrors were all steamed up, and you can write your names in them, and because everybody was just going crazy the whole time.
And what was the first tunes then you can remember from there? Would that have been Flexible and The Lower You Go? And...
Well, Harper would have been playing Flexible, Clubheads, Barbie Girl.
I had that in record too. My mom always reminds me.
What was the ones he used to play? Run DMC.
Yeah.
That was a big tune, like, wasn't it?
It's like that, yeah. I
It's
remember
like
playing
that.
that, and then it was the DJ Supreme one.
Yeah.
He always played that too.
Um,
He had only
Kiss the
just got
Rain stuff.
he had only just got his techniques in because we were all learning how to. That was whatever year that was, because yeah, they were completely different than the decks that
Yeah,
we
I
had.
know.
So it was when somebody done a good mix, you remember.
And then, but for me, it would have been like all the.
He was the first to get techniques, wasn't he, Harper?
I don't know.
I think I'm near sure that he was.
Whenever I got my techniques, that's when the Palm Grove was going. I was on Original Lens, which is the kiddie brew.
Yeah.
You weren't old enough to get the proper brew, so like a kiddie brew, so they give you 30 quid a week, and 25 of mine went on my deck straight away because it was a year and a half. No, it took them and you had to pay 25 quid a week, and it left me with a $5 a week.
So was that the same time as the Geordie then?
No, this was before.
Because they were brand spec when you threw them down the stairs.
So every time we come down to like the Palm Grove, they fell down the stairs down there too. Like, but they're like Fisher Price.
Yeah.
They never break.
And it's the same ones you used in your podcast,
They're
huh?
the same ones. I still use them.
With
25
3
years
legs
later.
in one of them.
Aye, 3 legs. Well,
But every week in, week out, we would have carried them down from your house, walk down that whole hill. Like records on the turntables. What? No car, no nothing. I was walking down because that's what you wanted to do.
I know you were like, you would have walked to Australia with your tax in your hands if it was like it meant you got to play them.
Did you ever get paid? Like at the start?
Palm Grove, 30 quid, I think. Was.
Yeah, it was buttons like.
And that's what got you a couple of records and stuff like. But I could never like drink or buy anything or like something was just.
Because then the next week it would have been the needles. Which was the needles? We used to go to the electronics centre.
We used to get the copies.
The headphones were a favour.
Because I would say about 50 of them are. Because they were a favour for a reason, because they lasted about 3 weeks and you had to go and buy a new pair. I remember Harper got his, he got brand new headphones. I think they were like 80 quid or something. They were dear ones like. And we plugged them in and we were playing them, and then I put them on and turned around like that there and caught them and pulled them out of the thing and broke them here. And here we go. He just looked at me like that and I went, now they're wireless.
Yeah, you have a habit of doing that too. I got a brand new pair of Pioneer ones. And you were like, what'll it twist?
That's right. Who makes DJ bloody headphones that you'd like?
You were 250 quid and taped all up and trying to wear it.
Like Jack Duckworth's set glasses. I was devastating. Like, the Palm Grove was amazing. Like, you had they were giving us free drink and we were under 18. Like, but so we had to hide behind the DJ box.
Edit that bit out, James.
And I remember
Arrested.
I remember Merzo come in and he was like, I remember Merzo got him to come down. He was like, are you allowed to drink up here if I go and get a drink? And then I showed him underneath the DJ box. There was about 50 empty bottles of Hard Lager. There you go. You just busted out laughing.
So was Geordie Parker doing it then whenever?
No, Geordie Parker done it whenever we were kids. Like first year, second year, Geordie Parker was doing it.
I can never remember.
Geordie Parker done it whenever I was first sec. Did you never go to the Geordie Parker's one?
I don't ever think so. Can't remember.
Sometimes you disappear down the Carrick for about 3 months. Well, didn't come back again.
Obviously, you had to pick who side you on. Are you going with your mummy? Are you going with your daddy?
But
when they were split up.
So Geordie Parker would have did it whenever I was about 11 or 12. I think he'd done it for about a year and a half. That was amazing, like when he done it, because you had the Palm Grove was brilliant then, because you had the UV lights the whole way around. The big circle bit in the ceiling?
Yeah.
UV lights all around there until somebody got up on somebody's shoulders and grabbed onto them. The whole thing came down.
Yeah.
But
didn't last too long.
No, it didn't last too long. Like, but the Palm Grove was some place for being where it was. And then poppers were going about then, and you were like running downstairs, having a sniff of poppers, and running back up again and dancing like mad for about 10 seconds, and then it wore off.
And that was pre-drugs days and all, like.
You were just like, thought this is cool, I'll do that there. Yeah, the Palm Grove was brilliant. Like, he was playing virtual reality. I'll never forget him playing that there. Virtual reality in the Palm Grove, whenever it first came out, people had the white gloves. It was the UV lights, and it was just a no out there, but the breathing in it, virtual reality. That was just a pure heaven. Like, never forget that there. And then he did it for a couple of years, and then it lay empty for a year or two. Well, the Palm Grove was always, it opened up, went really well. A big fight happened, and then nobody else went back again, and it closed down.
That's a story everywhere that we tried to start up. good nights, like Shore Road, down Carrick, wherever, anywhere we played, any good clubs, it was a fighting. They ruined it.
I remember it was me and Colin. We done one up in Newton Ards. Did you ever go to there?
Rings a bell now.
I can't remember what club you called it, but it
Was
was
the one at the roundabout?
I think so. It's not
Yeah.
down now, like.
Yeah.
But
the dive.
we done one up there, and the first night was good. Good crowd in it, and then the second night we brought a busload up from Rathfarn, and
Yep, that's it.
the usual.
Never asked back.
But a big massive fight happened, and that was the end of that.
Yeah.
There. Oh, bloody nightmare.
That's going back to kids' days, you say, about throwing stones and Stella Mars. Everybody was so territorial.
Yeah.
Remember the big club up, me and Bowie done? We drove up the...
Vision.
Can't remember what you call it. I thought it was Fusion or something, but it was the other side of the bridge. It was the wrong side of the bridge for us. And some of the nights we went up, his younger brother, Kenny, came one of the nights I can remember sitting there. So it was all the locals. And we were allowed to sit in the VIP out the back.
Yeah.
And they knew all the accents straight away. And next minute I knew something was going to happen just the way they were bantering back. It was the early stages of it. I was like, come on, let's go back here. And I just kept everybody back there all night. But that was some club that had like cages and all for the dancers and all.
He built that there and opened it without planning permission.
Serious?
Aye, and then so he was getting 2,000 people or something in it, and then because he thought if I build it, then they'll say aye, all right, but then they said no, and he had to close it down.
That was some club too.
So
And how far back that was? There was a fella came in one of the nights that me and Bowie was playing, and Bowie had just, because Bowie says to him, I just bought your record today, and whatever, it must have been underground, and that was, what was the Gleave that one? And the other side it had like the phone tone at the start, North Pole or something.
Oh, Afterburn.
But I think it was about that time, but no way it was a white label. It was released, it was that RGB Records or something, but it was about that time, so that's when that was. Couldn't even tell you what the fella was, he was a wee young fella. But yeah, that was some nightclub, some sound system and all in it.
Yeah, so everything always turns to shit. They say I'm the unlucky DJ because, or the way that you have Midas, the Midas touch, where everything he touches turns to gold.
Yeah.
Well, everything I touch turns to shade. Like, so you think of every club I've did, the shadest touch. Everywhere I've done is I'm probably the last DJ to play at it. Because it's closed down.
It's so sad, it's true.
You know, closed down, bombed, knocked down, tuck over. Flipping.
This is a good promotion for you, for the future.
This is for young DJs out there. This isn't what not to do. Even Pepe's was the last one in there. The IRA bombed it.
But that was good as well.
That was good too.
Yeah, some good nights up there, and that was a gay bar.
The Palm Grove last DJ in there before it went in fire. It went in fire while we were DJing. What we are at night?
I can remember smoke. Yeah, I think so.
Just standing DJing, and the next thing all the smoke started filling the fucking dance floor. Here's what the hell's going on here? And then the Keith come up and says, "Get out! There's a fire. The next door's on fire." And I was like, right. So everybody was getting out, and I was trying to unplug my decks. And then the smoke had filled that much I couldn't see what it was doing, but I was pulling them out, and I didn't have enough time to pull the plugs out, so I lifted the decks and I was trying to pull them, and they were still plugged in and stuff, and I was pulling like that there, and I pulled them out, and I was the last one out of there, and I was running down with my decks in my hand. Fucking nightmare. So that was the end of that there one that time. And at one of Newton Ards, it's knocked down now. We were the last ones in there. Shadow Rooms, it got raided by the drug squad. It's not there no more. Where else?
Well, the cruise was fading.
The cruise. Fighting. Dempsey's, it went in fire. The Ballybow went in fire.
Fuck.
We are stuff in it.
Yes.
Burnt down with our gear in it.
That place was rocking. That was some of the best nights we had. It was flipping Phil. You had over.
We had down
and who else was
Junior.
And that
was a good wee night.
That was like the third or fourth time we done it. It was just getting better and better and better. Next minute, up in smoke. All their gear still there.
Phone
Your
call
fella
from
says,
Colin. Ron, the Ballybows went on fire last night. I mean, what? Here he goes. Here's me. How bad was it? Our stuff's there. It's gone. It's
Brand
completely
new
gone.
speakers, yeah. Yeah, because whatever loan was it Princess Trust or something?
It's like
Brand new
500
speakers,
quid
yeah.
we spent
All
on
the
stuff and
equipment
it was all gone.
in the back room, and the fella says, "Oh, I'll reimburse you," and then disappeared to mainland.
He says, "Give me your receipts and I'll
Yeah.
put it through the insurance." And he disappeared on us.
I don't even.
Nobody's seen him for a year, and then they found out that he started the fucking fire himself.
Right, I was going to say that I don't think he got his money for it. But yeah,
Shitbag.
but that's just what happened. But that could have been something special. And then when we talk about all the tapes, the Circus, and well, like Lush Kelly's was probably something special because it was a proper club. But that's probably how all these wee places started back in the day, and then word of mouth, and then they lasted. But for whatever reason, every time we have started somewhere, it's just had a couple of good nights, and then that's just didn't work.
Disaster struck. The Palm Grove was probably the only success. This went on for about 2 years. And then what happened there was because it was going that well on a Friday night, the under 18s, he went, "Why don't I open it on a Saturday night and get double the money?" So then it split the crowd. Half went on Friday and half went on Saturday. And then going from a full club to a half full club, it just wasn't as good anymore. And then sort of dwindled down just to nothing.
Yeah.
And
And that was it.
that was the end of that story.
So after the Palm Grove, what was next?
So after the Palm Grove, the Geordie, Football was the last one to do it too, before it closed down. Now it's
Did the Geordie last longer than? Yeah.
Geordie was about a year and a half.
Right, cause that's where
About
my
a year.
memories mixed up. Yeah. No, Geordie was good. The boxing ring on the corner.
The boxing ring in the corner because I just knew fights were going to happen.
It was the decoration, but there were some good nights in there. Yeah.
And then some crazy nights outside it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, the Geordie was brilliant, but we just never.
The Geordie I can remember Circus Clown because I was meant to play one of the nights. I was coming on after you, and who can't remember who it was, but some other DJ, but he brought people with him. And you said, "Go ahead." You were like, "I don't care, I played." And I went on Circus Clown to that was coming in to start. All I hear is, "Get the fuck off." They're all around me. Go and get the fuck off, whoever it was. Yeah, and I just went, "Fuck it." Record off and let whoever play.
Can't remember. Who was it? So all his mates first because he wasn't
It
done?
was, you remember Andy Stratton? And he used to live up there beside where Tesco's is now. I forget his DJ name, but he played housey stuff and all.
Oh, nightmare.
Can't remember, but he had brought a crowd down with him, and there was like about 30 of them all around me, and it was a brilliant tune just released.
Yeah.
You're going to hear this, and it's "Get the fuck off" while the beat's playing. Like, fuck's sake. But there were some brilliant nights down there too. They had the visuals. That's the first time I can remember to notice there was the fucking projector with the things on the screen. But yeah,
That was the last happy hardcore club in Northern Ireland, just before we.
but we were playing trance, and I was thinking about this earlier. If you're thinking
Hardcore had just sort of nosedived off the face of the planet.
but even trance, coming in trance, you're thinking Neo Records, because I forget who it was playing, had the
The
record
House
box.
Nation stuff came in sort of just
Yeah.
after the hardcore.
But even the House Nation, that was like Lost Words and all.
Yeah.
It was changing, so it was going from, if you think about the Neo stuff, it was Dave and Faces and then Synesthesia,
yeah.
Thrill Seekers. So it was they're in the same label within the same time frame, and it's you were playing, so you were going from like the Darrell tapes, the sort of, do you remember the Powder Room, Mulgrew stuff? So it was all that sort of bouncy house club heads, but then that was being mixed with the trance.
Yes.
And that's what it was.
So you would have had like System F Out of the Blue.
Well, that was
and
the
I
first.
remember System F Out of the Blue, Lizard, and ATB 9 p.m. Till I Come. They were the first three that sort of went, "This is trance."
Mm.
And then after that, there you started getting all the big Signums and stuff like that there.
Yeah.
And that's when we started, because it's so lucky because we just hit 18 years old
Right at the
at
tape.
that third time, 99, 2000. And then it was like our first clubbing experience then. So we went
That was
from,
it.
we used to go to the Paradise Lost Friday nights, used to DJ in the Geordie on the Saturday nights, and then we used to have one drink and then take our the money
Or medication.
up until up the
What about money? You're
Kudos.
talking, it was like a 20 quid or something between us. It was, that was enough for a bottle of water, and yeah.
yeah.
No, but that's all you needed. And that was it. And that place was heaven. That was a complete different from anything that we had done before. Walking into Kudos on a Saturday night. And it's like even telling people about it now. What was Kudos? It was a gay bar, but all the guys left at 2 o'clock, and from 2 o'clock to 6 o'clock, it was a club.
Yeah, it was an
Or
after.
did they leave?
after-
I see thinking about it now. Did they leave?
Sometimes
I have no
there were
idea,
ones
but-
staying there because remember with Clara, and we were like in the chill out room and there was two guys who were just
Yeah.
sort of kissing like ferociously in front of us, and she was cracking up, going, "That's a disgrace! No, right, your time's over," and all like that. There, you're like, "Fuck's sake, Clara, leave them alone!" Just like, but the more she went on at them, the more they put it in their face.
That was the whole thing about that whole era for me was you didn't care. You wouldn't have cared if there was gay people, if there was black people, if there was any religion sitting beside you in that chill out room, because that was the only place that you could talk. Or even if you're dancing upstairs, you wouldn't care who was dancing
Yeah,
around you.
it was just
Yeah,
a few
like us
pure
being
dub
from-
fest, like.
Yeah, it was like if I was wearing a Rangers top, somebody would be dancing beside me wearing a Celtic top, and not that you were allowed to wear them, but it would not have fucking mattered, not a
You'd
jot.
have been like hugging them, going,
Yeah.
"Aye, mate, I'll call down to your house
best
tomorrow."
fucking friends in the world, and but that worked for everywhere. And you watch so many documentaries on YouTube about this now. It's like for the Kellys and all the big clubs over here. That's what brought everybody together
That's why
because
we
it
were
was
saying
so
earlier
segregated.
about the bomb, like because I think I read about it. The loyalist paramilitaries, or whoever it was at the time, sort of went, "Fuck, these guys are coming together here. We're going to need to do something." So they a bomb scare in the thing, so to sort of keep them away from it, but it didn't work.
The casuals done that as well. I watched stuff about that, about all the football hooligans and stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, like they would have been killing each other until the ecstasy came out, and then they're all hugging each other. But yeah, but
was
that
so
for us, that was the music, and my best memory and always will be. Well, apart from Silence, I remember walking about that song, Delirium Silence, the original, the Sanctuary. What's
Yes,
it called?
mix.
That was that place. And the Mark Wesley CD, it was the Iguana.
Aye, jeez.
Iguana. But my favourite memory, and probably I'll never forget it, is Airwave.
Mm-hmm.
And I was upstairs, and I walked down, and he was playing the same thing again.
He walked out like it's
there
the
was
best tune.
upstairs and downstairs.
He finished playing it, and then went down, and
Yeah.
they put it on.
There's
and
it
they-
again.
Yeah.
And that was us. And
Do you
what's
not remember
that tune?
being on the stage, and like our wave come on, and we were on the stage in Kudos, like sort of dancing. We just closed our eyes and put our hands up in the air. They got there, and then I remember thinking, "Fuck, everybody's going to be looking at me here. What am I doing?" So then I opened my eyes, and everybody else was doing it. And I just went,
Everybody in the
"Fucking
place,
yes!"
Another memory from there was on the Ibiza night. So this was completely strange. It wasn't trance. It was all house, and everybody. And there was a weird atmosphere in the place the whole night. And it's somebody fell, so it was obviously because of drugs, and everybody was just standing around them.
Because we went up late that time. We were laid up. We were completely sober.
Yeah.
Walked in the place, and everybody was out of it. And somebody had collapsed beside us. And then
But
we
there
were
was
like,
just people all around them, and then
we
the
were-
security guard just lifted them out, carried them out, and then everybody just carried on.
we were looking at each other going, "Is nobody going to help us?" Sort of guy here. And people were like, they were just walking over them and stuff. And there was a banner. We were waiting to get a drink. Some guy was banging it, going, "Darn, darn, darn." So they got there. We were like, "Fucking hell, what's going on? This is crazy here."
I remember you getting carried out by security guards one time.
Ah,
For
Jesus.
completely, no reason to do it, but yeah, they took
it
me
was, I think it was me and Curly. So we walked in, and for some reason he thought we were drug dealers, and they just lifted both of our arms
I
into
can just remember
shoved into the toilets,
I just remember the feet and the arms up in the air and runs away. What's up?
and then he was like searching pockets and all, didn't find any. He goes, "Take your trousers down." "Here's me, mate. I'm not wearing any fucking boxer shorts here." There he goes, and then lucky enough we knew the bouncer. Well, he didn't recognise us, but I says, he was in Clara's house one time a few weeks before, and I said, "Here, me, really, I tell Clara about this here, like she'll do you in." And he went, "Oh fuck, I didn't realise it was you. Where you go?" Jesus Christ!
I remember crawling about the floor downstairs because somebody had dropped one. What was it? It was
In the
about 10 or
fire.
11. But it was all like, do you remember what the ground was like? It was mush. It was all wet.
I was right beside a fire, so there was all ice and stuff from the.
Do
it
you
was all
remember when
black.
the toilets? It was like wading through water trying to get
Yeah.
the toilets. But yeah, you were hands on our knees trying to find this on the floor. But yeah,
Oh, sorry.
yeah, that whole experience. But that's what's, yes, we had the passion when we were younger, but then that's made us who we are. Like them experiences is not going to ever leave. Like, and I think that's why it's still such a passion. It's the only thing that
When I
you
hear
think about.
like sort of trance from that era, did you go with us not that long ago to the night in the Students' Union, or no, the Shine?
Was that Johan Gillen?
Yeah,
Yeah, that was amazing that night. And then
So
sure there
we
was a
went
couple
with,
of the old school and the bat and stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we went, Kenny and all went with us, like. But I remember talking to Kenny before, and Kenny was like, I'm going to give him a tick or one of these spare tickets to this
That
other
was the
guy.
bat. That was in the Botanic Inn. So I remember coming up in the taxi and all. There was loads of us went that night.
Yes, so it was. Aye.
But
You're
then
right.
the Johan one was brilliant. That was
Oh,
in
yeah.
Shine.
But the one with the one with that there, the one in the bat, that was a keep it real. It was a keep it real one
Yeah.
night.
Because Mulgrew was playing that night. He came in and Mark Wesley was playing that
Yeah.
night too. That was outstanding.
But the one where Koenig said he was giving it his mate, and I didn't know his mate, and I was raging. I was like, no, it's just meant to be for us and stuff. And because I was so nervous and no anxiety about going out, because it was like really hard to fucking go out then, then I said, oh, fuck's sake, you can't. And then I hung up on him. And then I was just in such a bad mood because there was so much anxiety. And then see when we went up, we got a drink in the students' union, and then we walked up, walking up them stairs, and I heard like the trance playing. I just sort of went, just complete ease, and it just felt like I was back home.
Yeah.
And then I was saying to Kenny, I'm sorry, and all. That
was incredible night. That.
Oh, it was.
That's because it was Mark Wesley going back to the Paradise Lost Days. And that was life. That was every Friday night, no matter what. All of us, everybody was in Paradise Lost.
I know.
And it was Mark Wesley near enough every week because he
was a monthly resident.
he's
once a month.
and then he would have done kudos
Yeah,
every Saturday as well.
kudos.
But that was it for us. Who was a resident then? Davy Cash.
Davy Cash, resident in Paradise.
But that's all them tunes. Ralph Ridge Angel, Tom Skeel, Love Comes. All them ones, all the extravaganza stuff. Blurry Bill, all that
The
stuff.
Airscape, I loved all the Johan Gielan sort of
Yeah.
things. Like, I remember. Do you remember in the Paradise Lost the first time he played Agnelia Nelson Embrace, and he said it's a brand new one from Agnelia Nelson that cleared the floor. Do you remember out there? Because Embrace was sort of out there.
Yeah, that was
But-
completely different. Like,
Yeah. But that's my favorite one they've ever done.
it
Took a few weeks, but a few weeks later it was like
It was
floor
the intro.
filled.
It was just the water.
It was just so minimal and just see listening to that in the car flying down a country road and the pitch black and it just like took you somewhere else.
Definitely.
But they were the best days, like.
Yeah, that was it. And it was forming your musical taste then. Because we were coming from happy hardcore. Let's be honest, and that's what it was. It was cheese, and it was our energy. It was young energy.
Yeah.
You know, on top of tables dancing, and this was a completely different scene. This is what we imagined that all the tapes we grew up in Circus and stuff. And yeah, that's what we thought. That was our time.
Yeah. Oh well, I was like, but I'm saying that was the peak of trance and the best clubbing era ever, and we just sort of hit there at 18, 19 years old. It was just perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect timing. It's kind of like the summer of love when people say, "I was,"
Yeah.
you know,
That was our summer of love. That was.
and then so then we started doing like partying and stuff.
Yeah. Well, we're still DJing, but it wasn't.
I think there was nowhere to do.
Was the Band Grove still happening?
The Pan Grove had shut at this point.
I can remember a house
Geordie had
party,
shut at
and we
this
had the
point.
decks and stuff at house party.
Yeah, so then that was the only thing we'd done, bring decks to house parties, make tapes for the parties, really.
Yeah.
And we sort of lost ourselves there, like. But the parties were like amazing too, like they were the place to be. Every single person came down to them, the house parties and
But
stuff.
that was our week. How many times have we said this? It was Thursday to Monday every weekend without eating. I can remember coming home on a Tuesday morning and my sister made me something going, have you not had all week? But you didn't think about it. Or you just didn't think about it. Then you had a day's break and then it was FIFA night on a Wednesday.
Yeah, Tuesday.
We won't get
Picking out on
stoned.
Tuesday.
And then out again. And that was every week.
That was for about a year, and that's when I met Laura, and then
She said no.
thankfully saved my life.
Yeah.
Really. Like,
I'm exactly the same as Lindsay. I met Lindsay about the same time, funny enough.
Yeah.
And it's,
I think we were lucky. We always had the music sort of. That was our ambition. So it sort of distracted us a wee bit rather than feeling there's nothing else to do. That's when we started doing the flipping
mobile
discos.
discos. Yeah,
that's the only thing we could do.
that just broke my heart because that's where you made the money. All these good places, you love playing that kind of music for people, but it's christenings, birthday parties, weddings, That was it. And then I was all over the country doing them, and that just
Soul destroying.
Yeah.
We were like, because Andy
packing the car, unpacking it, and
Andy was giving us them for like 120 quid.
yeah.
So we were splitting 60 quid each, and we always started at 7 o'clock and finished at 1, and we were like 6 hours of pure pain sitting there.
We Marky used to come with me, and a lot of them, and so it would have been, if you were even getting 100 quid, I would have give him, that's Andy's son, and I would have give him 10, 20 quid for helping me in and out with the stuff. Because half the places didn't have lifts, and you're up all these stairs, and you're carrying speakers and all this gear, and yeah.
But you always thought, if I do these and do a good job, maybe they'll ask me to be a resident here or something. And
then I can turn it into a nightclub.
And then turn, so that was always the belief. I remember saying to Mickey, like, was cracking up doing mobile discos, I said, I'm not going to do any mobile discos, I bloody hate it. And he goes, everybody starts there. I'd done them for 2 years. And then I says, Mickey, I've been doing them for fucking 13.
But it's like you say, at that time after Kudos and stuff, like there was, what clubs was open?
I know it was. It's sort of like a...
Like that's, maybe we should just talk about the actual music production process. That's one of our, we started trying to, that's why we started trying to make music, was to try and forge some sort of career, because we could just see there was no clubs, there was nothing happening in Belfast, there was, or around our local area, there was nowhere to play.
Yeah,
we were only doing stupid discos. Fair enough, we're getting paid for it, but then so when it was right, let's try and make music to try and.
Trying to think. So when was it you went to Ibiza and DJ'd in Ibiza?
Well, that was the other side of it. So then you started trying to hone your skills. So it was DJ competitions and all sorts. Now Ibiza and stuff came about. That was through Fergie's mummy, Keymix, Alice you called Fergie's mummy. So I can remember in P7, P6 or P7 in school, and I had made a hardcore mixtape. So it was like a one of them days, all different companies come in, and just coincidence. Fergie's mummy was there she was working on a different company at the time, and I was saying I was DJ and that's what I want to do, and it says my son's Fergie and do you want to make a tape? So I give her it, and I remember getting a letter back and Tony David had signed it and stuff. So he probably didn't listen. It was happy hardcore, but I wish I still had the letter. I have nothing.
Yeah.
But so that came from that, and then the music production sort of side brought me into Keymix. This is my memory's shot. So it was Sonic Academy, Keymix, and then Planet Love and Ibiza and all sort of happened at the same time.
Mm.
Yeah. So
what year did you start the Sonic?
When did we
thing?
go down? When did we go down to Bangor?
So
we went to Bangor to learn. It was Graham Ginty who ended up.
I was painting with Gary. I was actually, your dad started off because like he used to get you to paint the fences and stuff.
Yeah, from Musnoy.
And then you said to me, Ron, why don't you do it? Actually, this was just as I had met Laura, so this was just coming off like the parties and stuff like that there. Here's me, I might as well get a proper job and all. And then started working on the fencing. I remember the first day we done it. Fuck, that was the longest 8 hours of my life. It felt like
never
3
got
days.
any easier. Never got any easier.
It felt like 3, and I was like, do people do this every day?
Yeah.
And I was like shocked, like, is this what works?
The only good thing about painting was being rained off. See, when it rained, you were like, yes, we've got inside work. Fuck.
There was nothing like waking up and then hearing rain in the window, and you're just like,
there's no point even getting up. Yeah. But we went down. It was Bangor to learn.
And getting that there. So I worked there, and then I went. Your dad and Gary sort of fell out, didn't there, or something? Or they took on a site down in Carrick, but then your dad went in the bender, and so then he never sort of became part of it. I don't know. He always went missing, didn't he, as well? Lunchtime, come back again.
James added that bit.
But that was we were saying before. That's all our dads were like. They had 18. We had 18, 19 whenever the trance was in the height. They had 18, 19 when the Troubles kicked off.
And that's why, again, I believe it's because of the trauma. That whole generation.
Was the lost generation. Laura's dad died of alcoholism. My dad died
It's
of
so
alcohol.
common. It's so common for a lot of people that have spoken to it. It's the trauma has been generational and it's been passed down through their parents to them. And then it's self-medication or whatever substance abuse they want to use.
Trying to get through it, like.
Yeah, so you can't blame anybody for whatever they've done.
Not.
It's what it is, but that's what we grew up with.
So I worked with Gary for about 1.5 years doing the painting, and then I think we decided we need to do something. If we're going to do this, we need to fucking just bite the bullet and go and do it. So I quit being the painting, and then that's when we went to see about doing the courses.
Yeah. Well, we're already trying ourselves. Well, it was Fruity Loops and Acid Pro back
Yeah,
then.
we were doing
Because everybody was doing that. It was just like putting acapellas over songs and stuff. So we were trying to teach ourselves, but we thought, look, we'll need to go and learn. We didn't know where we were going. And the first course that we done, it was Graham Ginty, and it was in the college down there in Bangor. Don't know what you call the college, but yeah, so, and it was a DJing / production. So that was our first introduction to Reason, this program called Reason. So we sort of stuck at that for a while.
I think after that, though, then how did you get from that to Sonic Academy?
Right. So Sonic, the first time, so it must have been, we were trying to learn Reason. I can remember you showing me Cubius the first time.
So I must have been started in Mickey's already at this stage.
You must have. But I can remember the first time because I cracked copy on a laptop and you're like, yeah, but you can play MIDI files. And we were trying to do it all ourselves. And I remember it was like a trance, whatever the trance riff was, and just being able to put a VST that I hadn't, because Reason didn't have none of these. What the fuck's this? And what was the synth back then? God knows what the synth was, probably Vanguard or something. But yeah, I can remember just playing this going, wow, this is an actual, this sounds like the music that you hear near enough. So then I was right, I need to learn Cubius. And that was my first time going to Sonic Academy was to learn Cubius. It was a Cubius course and it was going to be Phil Johnson teaching it. And we went in, it was just a class. Can't remember how much I paid for it. I think it was something to do with Princess Trust that I paid for it. And Phil Johnson, the very first night, he gave us, I was telling James this the other week whenever I was sitting here, he had the paper printouts for to go home and learn, and it was all Cubius. And he says, I can teach us Cubius if you want, because that's what he says he made all the stuff with back in the day with Gleave and all the stuff that we bought in the RGB records that Let Me Be and everything. Yep. And he says, I can teach it, but I don't use it no more. That's how I use Ableton. Everybody uses Ableton. And I was like, what the fuck's Ableton? So then he started teaching us that. And then from that course, I ended up doing work experience with them. Badgered them. Just let me go. Because watching them once work, to me it was like, look at the people who worked in the place. It was Phil, like he made all this, like the stuff that he was making. He made Fire Devil and all around about that time. And so that was like, they had a studio up the stairs. And for me, this was like Dream World. And Brian Spence, he was an absolute genius. He would have, just actually sit in a settee like this with him on the computer.
Cargo and stuff.
Chris Cargo. I never met Chris Agnelli while I was there. He wasn't really in. This was above Mixmaster. And yeah, but oh my God, they were absolute crap. But just to watch, it was Phil and Brian that really, because they were both using Ableton, and to watch them were both geniuses. This is where I found out about all VSTs and how to use production software.
And then
so from that, it was then a DJing, the key mixing stuff happened. I played out in Ibiza with Club Kanye, I believe you called it, one of the places, and then another one was Viva. This was through key mix. It was Fergie was running this bar. Well, not running it, but he was playing in it and stuff. So during the days and stuff, that was the time I can remember that was Salmon Heater, SAMIN, Salmon Heater.
Yeah.
Because every time it was a housey tune, so it was all. But every time you played that, people was coming up. I can remember writing it down in napkins, and you called it Salmon Heater. So that
like
was
an
whenever,
Afrojack sort of type.
Yeah.
Yeah. All that there sort of thing.
But that blew up then. But that was eye opening as well, because it was on the San Antonio Strip. And yeah, so you were playing out the people when they were walking up and down during the day, and then at night time they would turn the decks around and you were playing. And so it changed from the outside bar, and then all the lights are on, and then seeing the West End. And again, one of the bars that I played in, like the door was just open, and like the place they were all dancing, and people was walking on off the street. What's that tune? And I couldn't believe it, but yeah. So when I came back, this was all the same year, and then it was Plan of Love. You were with me at Plan of Love. Like, it was one of the first ones on. There he goes.
But that was it was really good to be there. But
like walking in,
Plan of Love's a big festival. If you don't, it's the biggest festival in here, biggest dance festival.
And then I played the Elfin Rooms after that too. And then like loads of weep after that. It was bars and stuff.
Actually got to play Kudos, but it wasn't Kudos then, didn't you?
Yeah, that was the Movida Corona.
Yellow it was called then.
Yeah, Movida Corona World DJing final. So you had to do the things up until the final, and that was the final that was in Mint. And yeah, the fellow who won it that year, I think you call him
Yeah,
Afro Thunder.
I remember you saying.
My God, I can remember. Like I thought I'd done a good job walking away from the decks, and whatever the fuck, I still don't know what he done this day. Just went, what? CDJs and stuff then. So that was it. It was between.
I actually googled your man Afro Thunder not that long ago. It was like, as I remembered about him, like, 'cause I remember you telling me, and I seen a couple of videos, and I was like, fuck, it's amazing looking. Like, he was full Eddie Halliwell, no
Yeah.
pitch making tunes with the stuff.
Oh, he's incredible. Like,
And but I couldn't find anything at all. Like, don't know what
who
he's done.
knows?
Shame.
Yeah, same. So it was between the DJing and the production, and yeah, it was like I talk about rabbit holes, trying to learn how to use Ableton and stuff, reading all the manuals and.
I think DJing, I think you're technically better than me. But you were always like playing the B-sides, always playing the weirdest kind of music.
Yeah, it's like in the Palm Grove, if people knew what you were going to play next. I hated being that person.
I was the opposite. Sure, you hated me, Ian? Is that what you're
No, I hated. You knew exactly because you knew that's what the crowd wants, and
I was a crowd pleaser.
you.
I played the
You were
biggest
always a
tunes.
crowd pleaser, even with the trance and stuff. Even with happy hardcore, it was always trying to find stuff that nobody else knows. That's what it was for me. And even with the production stuff, it was always. I went through phases of making trance, making electro, and now yeah.
That's what I was going to say. So the technical side of your like DJing, always trying to figure out like be really precise and finding out things exactly. Like you were telling me, like it's the pitch control. If you put it at 0.3, then you know the next pitch up is 0.6. And
the CDJs used to do it. It was 0.8 and then 1.6. I went up in 8s for some reason.
there you go.
But then that only went to a certain point. So back in the day, you had a mixer and turntables. So you had to be really like Taser. Tricks. So it was a bit of scratch and mixing. You knew that was it Paddy Fraser the first time we heard it?
Yeah.
And he done something with it was a Techno Wonderland. And it was he looped a bit or something and it went side to side and we knew it wasn't in the record. Like that was the first
things like that there.
That was the first digital like editing that I had heard. I hadn't heard anything. That was Techno Furrow, I think he done that on one of them. But then with the actual DJ, and then it got to a point with even DJ competitions, they got Movie to Corona, and then the one that I won through Le Point, I ended up I warmed up for Marcel Woods and stuff that was in Carrick. Like even that was CDJs and the 800 mixer, because I ended up I got a DJM 800 and cash converters, got it cheap. It was like one of the channels was fucked up, but I was able to practice in the house. But you could only do so much with that. You could loop with the CDJs, but now it's like
with all that there technical wizardry and perfection that you had. Some wee guy called Pickler beat you in one of the competitions.
Did he? Fuck. Yeah. It was favoritism.
Oh, because he.
But your DJ competitions are fucking favoritism, aren't they?
I was that one that you had to send the tape in or something. You done all this mad sort of shit, like real technical sort of effects and stuff like that.
But you look like he was running it.
I know he just played like 4 songs or something like that.
Put them together in Ableton.
And then he just tested him. Have you listened, mate? Have you listened? Listen. And he was probably telling them, Picklers, like he was probably saying, I have a million friends and all that. I'll bring a fucking busload of people.
That was not the Beach Club. What did you call it? I was in that. The SSE anyway, whatever one of the clubs it was at the time. But yeah, that was
a nightmare.
It was all going wrong at that stage.
I know, it was like that's what I was trying to get at. Like you always focused on the technical side, and I think that's where you get stuck in the production.
Yeah, that's what I said to you. I sent you a message a couple of weeks ago, and it's I don't know how I got lost in it. Maybe it was just wanting to know everything about Ableton, and it was just another distraction. So it was instead of the music, then it became the production. I just got lost trying to,
Because like you would have spent 5 days on a fucking drum loop
and deleted it.
And then at the end,
Weeks. I can remember Lindsay walking in one day, and I remember what tune it was. It was Afrojack. I want you to take over control, and it was the kick. So you could get the kick at the start, but I wouldn't sample it. I wanted to do it myself, so I spent all day trying to just the kick drum, the boom boom, and she walked in. So this is like how many hours I've been sitting there all day, and she walked in the studio because I had done it myself. I'd soundproofed it and carpet, and I was like, "Listen, Lindsay, there's his kick, there's mine, boom," and she went, You spent all day doing that.
Oh, no.
Says, yeah. I didn't use it. It ended up deleted. But I spent weeks on projects and deleted them. Just,
You kept like,
it's
and I
perfectionism.
kept saying to you, just use a fucking Vengeance loop. Like
Presets.
Just use a preset.
No, I
and,
need to
like,
do
get
it
done.
myself.
Tuning kicks.
Yeah.
And you started tuning hi-hats and
everything.
braids and fucking everything.
Yeah. But
And
that's,
it's like-
that's perfectionism. That's where the DJing came from too, but
Mm.
because it was the trying to find all the, yeah.
I never understood. It was just like, you just need to and you're doing it now. You're banging the songs out like fucking.
But that's only because I completely gave up. I gave you one of my monitors. Many years ago was that? Still, you never use it. Like the monitor's sitting there. You've got the one blank monitor there and the other one here.
Oh, the TV
Yeah,
screen?
Yeah,
thought
so
you were
I
talking
give
about
up
that.
because for years I had God knows how many computers, all the rest of it. I just got the point. That was so I done HND music technology, and then I went on to do music technology in Queens degree. And as soon as I finished that, then me and Lindsay was getting married. So this was 2015. As soon as I left, she was no, you need to get a job. So it was taxi driving. So after getting all the student finance, I had no time to do it, no aspirations. I wasn't DJing, had no decks. Yeah. I was just moving from every time I was moving, bringing my records and my turntables. I still had my techniques. Just ended up giving them to somebody.
I know, was raging like you got all your records as well. You just give them away.
I was
or
just
it's-
moving from place. Honestly, I just gave up.
I done the smart thing when we were younger, and you says I'm finished with hardcore, and you start touring. And I was like,
Yeah.
right, I'll have all your hardcore records, and then you give them to me. Now you're raging
Yeah,
because
you and
they're all
Harper
worth
came.
about £100 each.
You and Harper came down. I was heavy and dope and stuff then, and yeah, I can remember I was selling them $5 or $10 just so I could have money to go and buy a bit of smoke. Yeah.
That's the
That's it. So that's what happens. But
addictions that
But
you were
now-
saying about being passed down and stuff like.
yeah, that's trauma.
And you had problems with alcohol as well, like didn't
Yeah,
you? Like?
that's I haven't had a drink now. How long's it been since the accident? I don't know. Yeah, it's been years anyway. It's been about 5, 6 years probably.
You haven't even had a whiff.
Like, you give me a bottle of.
No, that's what I was going to say. Like I give you a bottle of non-alcoholic, and I could see you didn't want to drink it at all.
I never drunk it for the taste, and it was always. It's like still shaking now after sitting doing this for ages, but it was Dutch courage,
Yeah.
and it's like I would have took 4 or 5, and I wouldn't have been sipping. I would have been bang bang, to get to a level that I could talk to people.
I know you did always go like overboard and get the drink, like, and I know it was like we didn't recognize that it was anxiety and stuff at the time.
Yeah.
We thought it was just like bravado or something. I don't know what the hell, whatever. But you were doing it too.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just crazy. Like
I've always had issues with mental health and stuff. So when again, it's like distraction away from that. It's escapism to get away from, to get out of your head for a while.
And
So
the worst thing
music-
is, and people don't understand, when you take like stuff and drink alcohol, you're fine that night, but then seeing the come down,
Yeah.
you're 10 times worse.
But then that makes you go and do it
You
again.
go and do it again. It's a vicious cycle.
Yeah.
Like I know, like we both talk about it all the time. Like we're both really bad with anxiety. I'm lucky I only had anxiety. You had anxiety and depression.
But it all started with anger. So I think it's 15, 16, probably even earlier. But that's the first time that I took medication for it. So it started with the medication for the anger management. And then, yeah, most of it I've tried a lot of different antidepressants, and never have I thought anything's worked.
Mm.
Like the most that I've took them was like in succession was the last 4 or 5 years after the accident, however long that's been. And yeah, I had to come off them about 3 months ago because I was just numb, completely fucking numb. And I think you've had a lot to do with that as well because I gave up making music. It was like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, that I hadn't really been doing much. And I came over you were doing one of your podcasts, and I was listening to that. And then I went home and got the laptop out. I got the studio software installed, and yeah, so that's only about 2 years.
That's a good thing. Like that's why we became friends. Like for the music, and we were always like there to push each other and like to do and to keep going and like. It was never a competition or anything, but we always like tried to like
Friendly, but yeah,
like to make sure we were always doing our bit. Oh, he's doing that. I need to do this. You know, that sort of way.
yeah, it was you. No, it hasn't been the first time in my life that you've pushed me in the right direction and been there for me. But yeah, that really helped. Because then it's ultimately able to come off all the medication that I needed to, and have something to focus on again. And
That's it. I'm saying, it's that ambition to do something, because when that's not there, then I think you just feel lost and like, what is there?
Exactly.
What's the point? That sort of attitude. And lately, like, you went in there real bad one there, like for a couple of years, and
Yeah,
nobody
just
seen you, and you never left the house. And I remember, like, we used to go to the cinema every Thursday, and then you just didn't go for ages, and then we talked you into one night, and then here's me, it's the first you've been out in 9 months. You
couldn't
were
believe
like,
it.
no, don't talk rubbish. And then I went back in the messages to remember, and it was like 9 months ago.
Yeah, it's just what happens. I'm not fully out of it, but I'm trying. But then, yeah, things is happening. But at least you have something to focus on, and that's what it is. That's what music always was for me. It was always from right back from I can remember the first times with Queen, well, the Invisible Man, and it was always headphones on, listening to bass generator tapes, like just over and over. The tapes used to change themselves in the Walkmans. And I was just that was it, just so you didn't have to listen to what was going on. That was your world. So it still is now, and I'm trying to stay away as far away from the production side as I can, because I went too far down the rabbit hole, and it was again use a loop, use a fucking kick, use a preset out of your synth.
Or
It's like,
samples,
I
and
can't, I can't.
you need
I
to
have to do it myself. Everything has to be, and yeah,
Because I remember
that's worked
saying
out.
to you, like, how far do you go? Like, you didn't want to use samples because somebody else made them,
Yeah,
but then you were trying to make your own. And then I was saying, but who made the sound and the synth? You know what I mean? So how far can you go before it's truly you? So you just have to go, everybody else is using samples, I'm going to start using them.
yeah. One big drawback for me, and it seems I was just saying to James before we started this, you're Mr. Mozart, the same as James is as well. You can play in the keyboards. If you want to play something, you can play it. I've never been able to.
Well, James is Mozart, I'm Beethoven because I'm deaf.
But yeah,
I think it's in key, but it's not really.
I like thinking about with MIDI files and stuff, and I can chop and change them, but I can. It's hard. Like again, it's just remixes I'm doing at the minute, so it's just bang them out. It's a different
But
version.
and every single time it gets, you learn a wee bit extra, Like
Yeah,
yesterday, Ian Redman actually messaged me the other day, wanted me to do a remix for him, and he says I'm not allowed to say what it is, but I'd done it, and then I thought this is absolutely perfect and really good production, and then I was listening to that with another track, and I was like, mine's just not. There's just something in the width of the synths. It's not, not wide enough, not big enough. So when I just sat and then I tried different things, and then I found out, oh, it's this here. It could be that. Is it because of that? It's because of that. It's because of
Yeah.
that. And that one wee thing is like made it better. So every time, the more you do, the one wee thing every time, and then before you know it, it's perfect sort of thing. But you need to do them. You can't just
Yeah.
sit there on a fucking kick for 4 days.
Well, that's the thing, and it was the perfectionism that led me down that. So it was like, remember the waves? Whenever you got the waves
Yeah.
plugins correct, I'd learn every single. So it's all these plugins do it. Don't even use them now.
Yeah.
And I just got rid of the ozone ones, the isotope. So I was subscribed to them for a while, and I could see myself falling back into it because there's so much. The neutron, the ozone itself. You've got the RX, all these. Like there's a vocal one, Nectar, and they each have all these different modules. And I was going through them, and I need to know what it all done. Get rid of it. So it's all I use now is just the Avenger that you put me onto. That was probably what started me, because before that it was Silent and Nexus and stuff. But it's just the only thing that I've bought is, and it's the first time I've ever bought plugins too, Avenger and the Sound Toys bundle. That's all I use, and then Logic. So I don't even use Ableton no more. I use it to warp stuff, but it's Logic Pro to use now.
You always thought that there was a holy grail out there of a synth or a compressor or something that if you do that, it's going to make your things. But it's everything is only one wee bit of it all, and you just need to learn those wee bits, as I was saying, and then it all starts to come together. So the more you do, the better you'll be.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, it's like I say, just learn every day, and I don't think it's anywhere near where the level where it should be at the minute. My production skills, but I'll get there.
Yeah.
And that's at least I'm trying again now after so long.
and
not doing
sometimes
it.
some ones that you've been doing are really good, like a couple of smashing ideas. Like I know that the one that I always play still. I play a couple of them. Can't remember what it is.
There's
Ready
one-
to Fly.
Yeah, that's
That's a really good
Subfocus one.
one.
One at the minute's like I think it's 4,000 or 5 on YouTube, because I'm putting stuff up on YouTube now. It's at Heaven, and it's not even 145. It's slower.
Yeah, because I
It's
noticed
like,
you've been doing. You swap and change. 1 minute you're doing like a bounce, next one you're
Whatever.
doing 1 2 8, next one you're doing
Just
a
whatever I feel like. That's the point. So it's just if
whatever you want to
if I
do.
like it, and it's not for anything now. Whereas before, I think I was putting too much pressure on myself.
You're
It
trying to
has be.
cater to a certain thing. And
Yeah. But then it was you again, and it was about a year ago. I said the last night in the message you called it. The way the music is, everything's going now. It's going back to the trance that we grew up with.
yeah.
So it's all going back. So before I was doing the electro, I was trying to do the harder stuff, whatever it was. Now it's just do what you know. And it's all about the offbeat stuff again now. May not be like a donk bass, but it's like a trance. But
Yeah, it's like filtered trance space. I'm enjoying it at the minute, like all the way the music's going, like sort of suits me what I like. And that's the key, trying to do it.
you're
stuff
going to
that you
get your
like.
just desserts. Said this for years. You've stuck at it.
Laura says that to me
How
too.
do
but it's-
anybody let her know? You've dogged determination. You just will not give up, and you just can't, like. How long's that show been going for now? Your podcast religiously every week.
Oh, the Thursday? It's, I don't know, about 4 years or so.
Know what I mean? And that's
4 years.
that's just you, an example of what you do. It's just dogged determination.
That's what you need to do too, sort of. I said to you, I think it's not technical is good, but it's only half the thing. You need to get your face out there and people get to know you.
Well, this is the most that I've ever done.
I know, and you're really
that day.
nervous,
I
like
couldn't. Yeah,
the day and coming into this here.
but
How do
that's
you
not
feel
me.
now at the minute?
I don't mind. I don't mind sitting in the background. I've never wanted to be at. It's always been about the music, even doing the birthday parties and the weddings. Whenever I wanted you to talk on the mic, I was hiding behind the laptop. I'd never wanted to,
We used to sit there and argue who had to say last orders.
playing chess.
Yeah.
When there's a playlist playing.
We had the chess on the laptop, and we were playing chess. But everybody else it looked as if we were really working on what we were doing, but really we were playing chess.
You were
while it
teaching me
just
how to play chess.
You always won. The fuck's that guy never won.
Yeah.
Look,
But I was never about the face and you have to stand on top of a table. And it was about, listen to this. It was always right from the start. I found this record. I may have heard Taser playing it or something. This is it. Wait do you hear what this does to you? Back to walking about Ralph Firm with a ghetto blaster. Wait do you hear this tune? And so
let the music do the talking.
Yeah.
I know it has changed now. It's more about you have to have a
I have to be able to
online
jump for an
presence
hour.
and fucking.
Like I could jump for an hour to wreck a stage.
You might need it, like, do you a favour. And the karate, why'd you not stick at it there? Like, you were doing well then.
Yeah, again, just like you said about going to the cinema, just fell off. It's hard for me to. It's the longest I've stuck at something being back at the music, and again, it was because of you. So it's just I'm sticking at that. I have plenty of other things happening at the minute. I'm studying to be a social worker, so
Yeah.
I've had to look forward to, but I'm not going to stop doing the music. But again, that's my get out clause. It's my escapism. I can just escape whatever shades in my head, whatever I'm not enjoying. Just sit down, and I'm actually enjoying making it. It doesn't feel like a chore. It's like before I was trying to make myself do it. I was doing all the wrong things.
That's what I found too.
I can remember doing listening tests. Remember the ear training things to try and hear different frequencies, and like I was sitting doing like what goes through your head. Need to do this to be the best mix engineer in the world. But
And I used to watch tutorials after
Oh, yeah.
tutorials after tutorials, read magazines, watch flipping.
subscribe to computer music and future music and all back. And they used to, and all I ever done was hold my speakers up, piles them. Yeah.
I used to say, just fucking make a track. Just fucking make a track. Make a song.
I can remember you coming round after working all day down in Bangor, coming round and listening to what I done and just sit down. Come on, I'll show you what I do. And you're just doing the fill like 10 minutes and you've a track already formed. And I just, I don't have a vision to come up with something unique. And
I think you always try and be, like I say, it's the perfection, wanting it to be perfect before it's
none's
perfect.
ever good enough.
It can be perfect.
Yeah.
Just needs trial and error. I think that's the only way. Nothing's perfect to start off with, apart from me. But
Yeah. Well, it's going to come good for you. I know it is because you haven't give up on all the experience that you've had and stuff, and it's coming back round. And everything does go in cycles, 20, 30 years. So the cycle's
I'm
coming
assuming
back.
I don't really want to be. I don't think I would like to be a DJ flies around the world every weekend and stuff like. I'd rather do well and making music where I could sit here and do it than fucking nothing.
I would like I just like you hear about different people making other people's stuff.
Yeah.
Remember, I sent you a link about Tiesto?
Yeah.
About somebody else made all his biggest, like, it was blew my mind. Apparently, if you look into Ghost Production, all the rest of it, it makes more sense for somebody else to make it because you're making, like, it's Tiesto £250,000 a gig.
Yeah.
It's you pay somebody $2,000 to make the next thing. That's so then it's a money making thing.
It'd be raging
But,
though,
yeah.
but wouldn't you? Like if he's making 250 grand for an hour set, and you're sitting there.
But do you want to stand in front of that
Oh, no.
and put your arms in the air and then you're probably doing 3 gigs a night, and like city to city, you're away from your family. You'd be away from your girls and all. I would like to be sitting in a studio, proper soundproof studio that you can trust what you hear. You're
Sure,
not
you go
guessing,
again,
but yeah, but you're guessing between your at the minute of 2 wee tiny speakers and headphones.
That's
so
what I have.
so you're going between your phone, your speakers, and trying to judge what's
You're
the
trying
best.
to get the perfect. You think you
Yeah.
need. There's a perfect speaker right there in a perfect room, but just fucking
Yeah, but
do
if
what
you
you've
can
got.
trust, and you can turn something up and go, right, the hi-hat sounds good there, and then you trust that that's going to sound like it whenever you go and play somewhere. But anyway, I wouldn't mind being behind the scenes, like making your stuff while you're flying around the world.
I'd rather it the other way around. That's why I always like working with Jamie, because I know he would be the guy flying around the world and he would absolutely love it, and I'd be just happy days. I'll just sit there and do the tunes.
Yeah. But that's where the passion was. The passion was always with the music itself. And now, yeah, just want to keep on carry on doing what I'm doing, making the music. But what I like doing the newer stuff. So a lot of the new pop stuff, because you can get the MIDI files and stuff where that's probably why. But because, like you said with Jamie during the interview, are we just going to keep remixing the 80s and 90s over every time? And what is it, melodic techno now? They're all doing
They're going back.
Yeah,
and
so
then
it's
a new
your
genre, and I go back and do it again.
Carte Blanche just released. Was saying to James about what do you call that fucking The Verve Bittersweet Symphony. That's the newest one that I've heard on the radio every day. You turn it on, it's some other old tune, and it's just like a housey remix or something. So I like doing that in the 145 offbeat kind of trancey-esque thing.
I don't listen to music at all anymore. So when you're sending me them, then I go, "What's that song? Where's that vocal from?" and stuff. And
I got the reason that I'm doing it as well. Not only can you get the MIDI files, I've got this software. It's expensive. Like you have to pay a subscription every month, but it rips the vocals out, so it extracts the vocal. And I know you can get them online, but then it's hit and miss. And a lot of them, I did use RX. I used to RX to do it as well.
vocal remover, just it's
But this is incredible. This one, like it's the best. You call it DMix, audio something, but it's called DMix, DEMIX, and why it was developed was the Beatles concerts. So it was like fucking thousands of screaming girls over the top of them. People wanted that removed, so your mom was funded, whoever developed this program. And you hear what he's done, like it completely takes the crowd out, everything out. So you can extract it in the stems. You extract the vocal, the drums, the bass, all of it. Now it's not perfect, but see when you put music on top of it, you can't fucking tell. But it's hit and miss as well. So then you can get the MIDI file, you can get the vocals, you can just
The technology these days with AI is absolutely incredible. Like it's just another. Like, do you remember? Remember when you were waiting to get your mixer one year when we were like kids, and you were like, my mum says you can take the vocal out of a song and all. It's like top of the range mixer, and we all thought
that's
this
richer sounds out the back. Remember we used to buy records out there too. But yeah, they probably have the selling. Oh, you can take the fucking
vocals out and all. And so your mum taught, and you were telling us all this, and we were going, no fucking way, no way, no way. And then you got your mixer, and your mum said, "Oh, I just said that there to you." And we were like, "Fuck's sake!" But we went from that, and then we remember like Graham Ginty saying whenever we're in Bangor, and he was like, "You'll never be able to do it. It's like taking the sugar out of a cake after you make the cake. It's just impossible." And there we are, not even 10 years later, and you can do exactly that.
It's crazy. Like, see, when you listen to it, like I sent you for what we're going to do next week. There's 2 ways. One way you can take it, it's like ungated, and then the other one's gated. So one just lets a wee bit more through, but you hear what it's doing. It's all filters and shit. There's like, I don't know what to do, but it sounds like you hear the effects that's on the vocal.
Yeah.
Like the delay and the reverb. How does it do it?
I don't know. I heard the other day Johnny Cash singing Barbie Girl.
That's the next of it. The people like, you can do anybody's voice.
Freddie Mercury singing Hey Jude.
Wasn't it the Drake song that got took off Spotify? Drake and The Weeknd or something? Like, that was incredible.
It is Johnny Cash singing Barbie Girl. Like, and him and his low voice, I'm a Barbie girl. You know, it's absolutely incredible.
Did you remix it?
I was thinking about it.
It's
Sure,
good time.
Tiesto's done Barbie girl.
Yeah.
Fuck's sake. Or Adagio for Strings to Barbie girl. That's how far he's fell.
Yeah, fail. How much is he getting paid in Vegas every night?
Probably.
You know, he's falling. Yeah.
That would be.
But that's a completely different. That's a life away. I don't know if I would want that.
Well, we'd love to move.
See if I'd had. See, I know one thing. See if I'd had it whenever I was 15, 16, 17. Whenever I wanted it so much back then, I would have killed myself.
I was just about to say, would be dead.
Yeah, be easy dead. And it was Lindsay and my mummy that saved me. Multiple times in life, and you've had a lot to do with it as well. But yeah,
I'd be the same. And it's even if there was no music, like I was saying back to the start, like we had the music to sort of distract ourselves from all the shit that was going on. Like that would have. If we didn't have the music, you'd have been fucking. God knows what you'd have been there, like.
but if you had the music and you'd achieved even a residency back then, even a couple £100 a week, I would have killed myself. Taking God knows what. Film myself, yeah.
Like your man Scooby that went off to Ibiza. Went absolutely
What's the
nuts.
tune? Dario G.
He done. Yeah. And he fucked off and went partying, and they were trying to get in contact with him to sign this record deal. They couldn't get him, so Dario G. They just said to him, "You're it." He missed out on that, and he missed out on signing for. He came up with Mambo.
Did he do Mambo too?
Because he was in on them where to build it, Cafe Mambo. And he said they were going to build it somewhere else. And he says, no, build it here. And they were like, why? It's away from the town. Yeah. And he's like, as you can see the sun, sunrise, here he goes, or where the sun sets, here he goes. That's why you want it there. So they built it there.
Is that the one that Pete Tong used to have? Because that was my hotel whenever I was out there. It was right at the top of the strip. And you look down, and when you walk down, it was just all the crowds. It was Pete Tong at the time on a Friday or Saturday night. And it was Cafe Mambo or whatever it was, because you could get the millionaire's breakfast. You just sat there in this cafe looking out at the sun, the rocks, and like one of the things was like millionaire's breakfast or something. I didn't get it, but but yeah, you just seen it's a lovely place.
Although when I went there, I was shocked how small it is. I was thinking
even the West End's totally. Yeah, it's just one street. It's like Belfast is bigger than Belfast.
And even the clubs, but when you think of Ibiza, it's like Cafe Mambo is going to be some big massive club like you've seen on Kevin and Perry, but it's not. It's like a wee bar. Yeah,
like Space. I've only seen videos of Space and stuff. It's meant to do eating while I was out there on a radio show, but I don't know what happened. But I've never seen it. But you see the videos of Space, Amnesia, and you remember the Tiesto tapes and all the group. Like that's only a couple of thousand
stuff.
But all that, the whole club thing. Is there any clubs even worldwide? Everything's festivals.
Oh no, that seems to be where it's going. Like everything's festivals. So even the Belfast Goes Large, it's meant to be on a couple of weeks here. Right. And the BAT, it got cancelled because the tickets weren't selling as well. But it's because there's all festivals in and around the date all over the place. The Taylor Swift thing, people are saying I bought 2 Taylor Swift tickets, £800 and all. You're like, what the fuck?
Where's that? Is that the SSA?
I don't know where she is. I think just in Dublin and wherever. But like, would you? People won't even pay a £5 to come and see me. Or fucking paying £800 for Taylor Swift. I'm sick.
Well, there's plenty of people come every week in, week out to fucking listen to you.
Oh, the lives, huh?
Yeah.
They have nothing better
and have been consistently.
I know, I'm doing it tonight as well. Like, if you want to come over, show your face.
Yeah, Thursday at 7. Well, 7:30, 8:15.
Time we get in.
By the time you get on, you're never early.
I know. You seem late today, 10 minutes. If you're going to be, might as well be late. I think we've talked about everything we can.
That's it.
Anything else you wanted to say?
No, you
didn't want to say anything to start with, did you?
I don't want to say anything. You've got it out of me.
But that's like when you've got anxiety and stuff like that. There, what I found was it's helped me try and do. You battle it every day, no matter what. Yeah. So you might as well battle it and do something. Like so. Doing this is like then you've been able to do it before. Yeah. So then the next time should be easier.
But I know what it's like to not have the escapism. And that was one of the worst times of my life, was to not. Whenever I gave up on music, I got rid of my decks. And just to think that was just, no, it's not happening. And I couldn't even listen to music to enjoy it, and to not have that escapism. It's just, so now that I have it again, it's brought my anxiety levels down. But yeah.
And then doing the live, me and the thing are doing this here, and even coming down here to NACN's like really helped me as
Yeah.
well. See, even doing videos and stuff. Your face, because I wouldn't have been able to.
Yeah, this
do
place
this.
is incredible. Like, and I've said it to Crooksy. Like we didn't have this. We had Bates. We had Hopefield had like a computer suite that you could just snuck into. Some people got us in to make our tape covers, but to have something like this growing up
I don't know. Right in
and
your
helping
doorstep.
you, that's how you got me out to start with was
Yeah.
the DJing.
DJ Academy got you out to help out with that.
And
There.
see, whenever I just said it to Adam out the front, seeing you show somebody how to cut or cut a crossfader or use the pitch or do some stupid way in effect, you come back next week and you see them doing it.
Yeah.
And they've just and he was saying about ones with Minecraft, he would show them and they come back and they've built all this. That's what it's about.
Just growing up with technology where we had to fight to really to get
It's
close
just
to it.
it's took for granted. Like I'm doing stuff that what you don't know how to press a button or you don't, and then you somebody goes, they're like, oh, it's a free show. We Alexander standing while you're talking about scratching or something. It's like it's incredible. How do you make it look so easy? It's what you do less. But it's just that you take so much for granted just because you know.
Yeah, I know. Like, sort of, it's hard to know how far you've come from whenever you're doing it. But I think I try and remember, like, if you were outside looking at somebody doing that, because even the Mallorca Lee and stuff, you still get hearing his voice as if he feels like he never achieved.
Exactly. You're like, what?
And we were like, but
all over the world.
to us, we were like, you were the pinnacle. Like, you
Yeah.
couldn't really get any higher. But you feel like he talks about it as if he never.
It's Taser for me. Like growing up, like Taser was just my world.
Yeah.
And I can't wait until he's on this podcast to hear his story. But to hear, you've never heard of Taser? And tricks? What? So, and they may be a wee bit older. It's right, you can understand it's a new generation, but my God. Like that was, and you talk about like talent, DJ and talent, like even using the pitch control. Like even that's all synced now and stuff. It's
And he was the first really DJ to do like 3 decks, scratching, backspins,
Carl
acapellas,
Cox, yeah.
over the tops.
Yeah.
That was incredible. Like really was.
Yeah, creativity, and it was an art form. Like Carl Cox on himself, 3 decks and all. That was creative, and that's where it all stemmed from for me.
Doing so much with so little things.
Yeah, even listening to back the tricks on Taser now, you hear all the mistakes, but they just make it better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
More
even
authentic.
Gleave was brilliant too. I know it wasn't hardcore, but fuck all his tapes. I remember I was doing Rubies. I ended up doing like every Saturday in Rubies up in it was the Killing in Larne. What's Rand's second name? I forget Rand's second name.
Rambler, is it?
Yeah, Rand Blair. He done it with me on a Saturday. I done it on a Friday. But Gleave came down a few times. There was a couple of parties, and then I was like, "Look!" And at the time, I love every single one of your Gleave tapes. It's like I hate listening to them.
I was listening to one not that long ago, like the one with "In the Name of Love" and Pacific Dance, sort of one and all. Like that, there one was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Every tune in that was fucking insane.
I love that. It's the same as the Darrell ones. There's a lot of cheesy stuff in the Darrell ones, but it doesn't matter. It's still brilliant.
Yeah.
And then it's mixed in with the trance, and then you've got the club headsy stuff. And
Do you remember it was 1/12? We were in Larne, and
I know exactly what you're gonna say.
Gleave was
Yep.
DJing. We thought this is gonna be brilliant. Gleave's gonna be on, and he put on his first tune was Beach Ball or no?
I can't remember the first tune, but I know what he.
It was It was Juke Ball over what's that old school record?
It
with the
wasn't.
piano?
It was San Francisco.
Yeah, San Francisco.
Yeah, San
But he
Francisco.
put Juke Ball, the acapella, over it.
Was it Juke?
Yeah.
I can't remember what the acapella. Maybe it was. I thought it was something else.
Loving you,
But yeah, I was listening the other night.
loving you.
It was I've been listening to Luminosity sets, and somebody had made a bootleg of it, and that's the first thing that came
San
into my head.
Francisco.
Yeah, San Francisco.
So he stuck that on, and then we were like, "This is it, fucking brilliant, you!" And then all the
Out.
old men were like, "We're not listening to this fucking shit." All they wanted to hear was like band tunes and shit. So they lifted all their stuff and went down, and Gleave just turned it off, and he just went,
Yeah.
"They win." And we had to like,
I don't know if it was Juke Ball. That's going to do my head.
I know
in.
it was Juke
But
Ball.
it was San Francisco. I can remember it, and it was the very first. He just went straight away.
Yeah.
in.
Dun, dun, dun,
And we were
dun,
loving
dun,
it.
dun,
Yep.
dun, 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 dun. I know, it's petty like, so it was.
But that's it. But where is there to do now? Like I know once in a while there's a festival. Is it the V Fest? Is that
Thanks,
any-
and you had the Callie's and stuff, and then tracks, and like now they're both going now.
Yeah.
Coach.
But is that all that's happening now? Is there like the stuff that's happening in Belfast? And
I think it's just festivals.
who runs the V Fest? Is that NACN?
Free Fest was NACM. We only done that 1 year, like.
That seems to be it. And you've got the Tomorrowlands and all that. But yeah, back in our day, it was clubs. At least there was places to go. But maybe there is now, Ron, and we just don't know.
Just two old fogies.
Yeah. I do feel like a grand most of the time.
I know. Do you ever remember, like, I remember, like, being out somewhere and they were listening to jive music and they were, like, on the back of their shirts, it, like, jive just one more time. And we were like, fuck's sake, get with the times, you know? Fucking leave that music back where it belongs and
What about
start
the
listening to
ska?
new.
I was thinking about, remember Nola Madness and all that sort of stuff, the way that they're, that's their version of happy hardcore.
Yeah.
Like, that's going to be us when we're 60 or 70, and Amy and Jessica's going to be.
There now. That's how we are now, like the old school. It's all about the old school and going to the old school events and like whatever.
But that's what's so different about now, because that's all there is, even in the pop charts. The main fucking, but there's no top of pops no more. Right, this is from fucking streams and Spotify that they accumulate these charts. But even that's, like you said, but Jamie, are we just going to keep remixing the same stuff over and over
Nobody
and
wants
over?
to take a chance on new shit.
Or if they do, like, when's the last original stuff that you have put out?
That's what we're saying as well. It costs twice as much and twice as long time and gets half the radio play.
Will anybody sign it?
No, just like, well, people sign it, but you get half the exposure. You know, it's like nobody wants to take a chance playing it. If you're doing it, if you're DJing on a dance floor, you're playing all tunes that everybody knows. If you put one on that nobody knows,
That's it.
You're likely to clear the dance floor, and then you have to struggle to get them back up again.
And then that's the other side of it is, if anybody does sign it, you're going to make any money from
No, well, sure,
royalties.
them ones are fucking.
What's a streaming? Not point, not one.
They sent us our royalties a couple of weeks ago or a couple of months ago. I think with £12 in it. And then
Over
they
how
said
many years?
I was like, I was for the 2 years, and then they says we had to put our bank account to, them, so they could put the £12 in. They were like, invoice us back so we can put this in your account. I just went, man, not fucking even bothering doing that, wasting my time. You can keep the fucking £12.
It's like the SoundCloud, once you made me start up again, well, not made me, but encouraged me to, I started putting everything in SoundCloud, and I could then, it was called repost through SoundCloud, and you could add stuff into Spotify, and even one of Armin's tunes, and it was on fucking Armin's Spotify. I think it only was there for a day, but I think I accumulated over like a year, £6 or something. But then I got to a point and I got a message saying, and the message said, your account's under suspicion, because it was all remixes. And I was just, and I was just bump wiped.
So I was getting £100 a month off SoundCloud, and then they took mine off, and I was like, what for? All my stuff's like had licenses and flipping, because I knew
That was all resung and all.
anyone out with a sample or like that there, then I didn't monetize it. Everything was like all samples, or everything was all like resung, replayed, licenses, and then they just
Because you paid licenses and all too.
and they never even get back to me.
Yep, just cut you
no,
off.
That's gone.
That's it. That's scary that they can do that.
Scumbags.
But then there's no other way.
I don't know.
How else can? I don't know how many copies of stuff actually does sell now. Whenever you get it signed.
When you go to, this is like a big secret, but when you do Juno download, and people are like, got #1 in Juno, and I'm like, 5 people's bought that.
That's serious. It's sad saying it, but I'm not surprised there's only 5 people, because who buys music?
If you get the #1 in Bounce Heaven, about 100 people's bought it, but it's really hard to get there now. 100 people, and that's the
get
pinnacle.
your friends to buy it. That wouldn't be the first time I've done it.
Bought it myself. I've used to get bet myself, get Laura's card, get her to, bet on her card.
Remember the Sandstorm thing? It was a spinning records, a remix competition or whatever it was, and it was Sandstorm, and we blasted it out on Facebook. It was actually Pickler that used some software to blast it, because I was getting messages from people I hadn't talked to in years, like, what do you want me to do? But you had to go on and click or something, and nothing from it. But
that was the, that's a popularity contest, 'cause you have the shittiest record on there, but if you've got the most legs spinning, would have signed it.
What'd you call it? Up Super State? I mean, you still have that, don't you?
I've still a few of them tracks. Some of them tracks were good, but I just didn't feel that.
Yeah.
I lost their way. After that, I think we both sort of just stopped doing it. That's when you sort of stopped doing it.
Because there was a couple of good gigs and stuff then. Because there was, it was Bondi was running stuff down there. Yeah. And they were good nights, and there was good DJs, good sound system, and we were getting good slots and all down there. The showcase this stuff. And it was sounding well and all, but it was just like, what do you do with it?
I couldn't get into the music at all. And I think that's when I went to uni, or I just started going to uni, and then just stopped doing music altogether.
Yep.
And then I got
You had a taste of it too.
well, but I was at the uni. That was my new passion, like, you know, all
Yeah.
sociology and psychology, and like we were well into that there stuff, conspiracies and stuff.
I was like water off a duck's back to you.
I love all that there. Like, I was having an argument today with a flat earther online. He's like put a picture up of the moon, and he was like, the moon just has dust on it. How can that be as bright as it is? You know, so it's not real. So the moon's really like a light with a bulb in it. And I was like, are you serious?
Light with the
Look outside. It's fucking, the sun is shining off concrete and it's bright as fuck. That's stone. You know what I mean? Imagine that in a pitch black environment. It would look like a fucking bright light. No, it won't. Don't be stupid. You just.
But this is you. I can remember the Mormons or whoever it was used to come and rap at doors. And everybody else, nobody else would answer the doors, or just if they did, they'd tell them to go away. Used to bring them in and make them a cup of tea to have a fucking conversation. To try and, like, this is their life's work. Poor kids that have devoted their whole lives to it, and you're trying to convince them that they're wrong.
They couldn't wait to get out the door too.
You said one of them fucking didn't come back and all
They didn't come back. Like.
Yeah, like he's changed his whole life because of the conversation we're on.
Converted to
Whole religious indoctrination of his childhood from his family, and you've changed his mind.
They were doing some mental gymnastics though to try and get around the questions I had. Like one of the ones I says, so Noah's Ark, you believe the Bible to be literal? And they were like, yeah. And I was like, so two animals, you know, went all that there. And they were like, yeah. And I said, so did the penguins come from Antarctica just to get in this boat? Yeah. And then I said, so when you brought like two cows, did you bring another 40 cows so the lions had something to eat for the 40 nights or whatever, you know? So did you bring other extra animals so they could eat and all that there? And then he just sort of. And he just went, no, all animals were vegetarian at that stage. And I just went, Jesus.
And they couldn't have had that.
So lions were all vegetarian. They
no
just
claws or no teeth.
Yes.
But anyway, yeah, that's a completely different podcast.
But I love all that there, like, because it's just so, it's very cultish behaviour. Yeah. And that flat earth thing, I even said to him, here's me, you're doing mental gymnastics here to try and fit into that cult of flat earth and stuff and conspiracies just to be right.
I read a good book there, I think it's called The Great, it's about Rome, whatever, is it Rome or Greece? But anyway, it's about the actual very first religions. I tell my mummy about this because my mummy's a Jehovah's Witness. And the very first, it was the religion for the family. So it was every family, it was called the god of the hearth. It was basically a fire, and you would have done your sacrifices, but it was only, and not even a tribe, it was just your family, passed down male to male. So it was only the males that knew whatever prayers or whatever you said at it. But all this was way before Constantinople and all the rest of it. But so it was the first city that brought it all in. I think it was Rome or whatever the fucking Athens, maybe one of the Greece ones. But whatever the first cities were, everybody had their own individual.
Mesopotamia, maybe.
Yeah, they brought it all into one religion. So then it sort of gradually moved from the religion of the family to the religion of the civilization, and that's where it came.
I see, because there's so many different types of Christianity and stuff now. Like religious people say that we had one Christianity and then all these offshoots started to happen, where it's actually the reverse. We had all these offshoots and they're trying to bring one in, and some people are still subscribing to these different things.
And there was thousands of different like magicians and stuff times of Jesus.
Did you read that Salad book?
That Salad one was good too. But this one goes back to, so it's there's no written history, so it's way before Sumerians, way before all. It's all through what's been passed down through, like prayers and like language. So it's the stories that's come down, and then they're able to you just go, like you can see what has been, and the land, the way that they divided land up and stuff, like the different boundaries was for different laws that has been passed down. You can tell that this is outdated, but this was way before this one. But there's still like a clause on it that doesn't make any sense, which means that they must. Yeah, I'll send you that book. It's really good. The Great City or something it's called, but it's really interesting.
Yeah, I love it. There's stuff, and that was another thing that why we're so much friends, because we like the same shit.
Yeah. Well, what started that sort of mind fuck was Zeitgeist.
Zeitgeist. I'm watching that.
Zeitgeist. Yep.
I watched other ones first, and you kept telling me about Zeitgeist, but again, the name put me off it. I was like, Zeitgeist? Fuck, it's stupid. But then I watched it one time and I was just like,
yeah, so much. It was the money system and all.
Yeah.
And that's still today. and then governments and all the rest of it. Like, that's my whole perception's changed about governments, everything. I think it should just all be abolished, because what good does it do? But then everybody's entitled to their opinion.
I went so far out there that I started coming back into normality again. Like,
Yeah. And you see, yeah, because you have the sort of balanced.
yeah.
You always said, look, I don't think it's so far out there, but it's probably in between. You know, and I think you're right. But then I think education does that there too.
Yeah.
So I've been through Queen's. Currently I'm BMC. And I hated Queen's because it was all pompous and grandeur. You liked it, but I hated I loved doing the HND and the music in Armagh, which was another college. But then whenever I got the Queen's, I couldn't stand it, because it's all like, even the questions, when you were given a fucking essay, you had to decipher the question.
Yeah.
It's like a different language.
I know.
And it's like, why do you not just put it in layman's terms? It's like, to keep the knowledge. You're only allowed to do this course if you can understand this, which is stupid, because it's just,
Keep a divide between the middle class and the working class to see that we are smarter because we talk like this.
and now that's all finished too. You talk about technology, AI's been finished. That
ChatGPT, Jesus,
that's taken over the world.
I don't think I've heard of a few people. I wasn't going to say, because one of them,
Yeah, well,
one of them sitting in front of me.
yeah, it comes in handy with uni work, put it that. And it's not only with uni work, it's like my wife, she's a social worker too, and I think it's a lot of stuff that can help with management. She's in like like scheduling things, and it just does a lot of the stuff that you don't need to do anything yourself.
You do have to read over it, but
Oh yeah, you can't just take it.
Because one person I read somewhere in America, they got a question and they just typed the question into ChatGPT, but ChatGPT just picks out things from the internet that's already on the internet and puts it together. So some of her stuff on down, a lot of it was factual, and some of the stuff was from a TV show that was false, and they sort of went.
I watch this Level 1 Text, you call this show. It's really interesting about like government, and they do all sorts of stuff. But GPT is one of the main things to focus on. One of the stories, they said a lawyer just put it in, asked it, whatever it was. He ended up, right, so he put the story in. He asked for the references. The references were wrong whenever it was checked up. But he, give him his dues, he asked it, are you sure these are right? Whenever he was doing it, and the ChatGPT said yes. So anyway, he was fine. He could have lost his fucking job.
Yeah.
Another one, I think it was a professor in university. All of his class, so his whole class, he suspected that at least some of them have. So copy and pasted it into it and asked it, did you write this? And it says I could have. Failed them all. He got struck off or something too. But yeah, look at the education system. It's finished. The only reason that they're going to trying to hold on to it is because it makes so much money.
Of course.
But
they have to find out a way of being able to educate with ChatGPT.
Well, they started by banning it.
Yeah,
a lot of universities banned it on campus now. They've sort of come around to it a bit to be used as a tool.
We need to figure out a way that it's incorporated. Like, if it had been there when I was there, I'd probably used it too. Like,
information should be free. Like, it's just like the internet.
It's just another resource. Like, but you still need to know what's right and what's wrong.
Well, now you're getting the truth, and that's fucking what the guy started us with. It's still way out there. But yeah, that's another escapism. It's at least you don't have to think about where you are, your current life, what's doing your head in. You think about fucking all the problems of the world.
That sort of stuff. When I done the CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, like when I was saying to her, like, anxiety brings you down. You're the center of the world, and everybody's around you looking at you, and that's why you're sort of like any slight action you do, you feel it's going to be judged by a million people. But see, when you think about that there, like space, and like the Earth's only one wee dot on fucking cosmos
blue dot
and stuff, you first sort of start thinking about how insignificant you are. So then all that there sort of judgment sort of like floats away for me, and it's sort of, so getting into that there sort of reminds me that you're not important, Ron. You're just a fucking bag of molecules floating in space.
Simulation.
Yeah.
Somebody's created.
Somebody's going, left, Ron.
That was a Superstate tune.
Up, Ron.
That was a Superstate tune, Pale Blue Dot. That was Carl Sagan.
I heard somebody else doing that not that long ago.
Yeah.
Pale Blue Dot.
That was a good tune. I'm really interested in that. Yeah, I like listening to Lex Friedman and all for that stuff.
Yeah, I like
sometimes Jordan Peterson too.
Yeah.
Lex, do you know what I don't like about it? But he had your man, the Israeli Prime Minister, and all on the other day.
Netanyahu.
Yeah, so it's like, I don't. That's not,
It's the same when Joe Rogan talks about guns and how everyone should own a gun. I'm just like,
Yeah. But
Joe,
then
shut up.
you get people and it's against it, and then you get somebody that's like obviously he's in the fucking government, so what am I going to trust what? And Jordan Peterson does the same as us, like Canadian officials, and I don't like watching that shit. I like, well, again, there's like the record. It's not what everybody else likes. It's
Yeah. I think we've been going for long enough. I can feel
Yeah.
my belly rumbling.
as long as I haven't had a vape, and I don't know.
There you go. Keep going if you want.
I enjoyed this, Ron.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay.
Hopefully do it again. Some we'll talk about more conspiracies.
That's a really good idea. I did say too. I think you could be on to something there, and you're going to get your comeuppance
Well,
because the music's turning back round. Exactly, everything's coming to what you were before. It was like, remember Armo went through the phase that nobody liked trance.
yeah.
And then now it's all come full fucking turning. Now it's the biggest thing in the world.
I know,
Like, is
yeah.
it the charts and all? It's going to happen for you, and with this podcast as well. Like it's
Hopefully we get a
brilliant.
good lad. We've got a lot of people lined up for it,
Yeah.
like, you know, but hopefully
Like
we'll
I'm
just,
very interested. I do it, and it's like who else will listen to? Malorga Lee's. I love that one. And they're very few and far between. I'm always searching for interviews and stuff on YouTube.
yeah, I've
And
seen
you can't find them.
Macca does ones from Scotland. He's got a good few people on, like I like his. But few and far between. You
Yeah.
get your arse in the gear, Macca. And then there's one in England, Brad Refresh or something I listen to, but he's really into the bounce scene, like fucking in the nitty gritty. So he's pulling all these DJs out that I've never heard of, and
What was a hardcore one? I sent you links for it. But it's
Force and Styles.
yeah, Force and Styles done, and there was a few other Slipknot was on it, but it gave up about 3 years ago.
Yeah,
A lot of them starting and don't
some of them was
finish.
like that was jungle and drum and bass that were doing as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, I didn't watch a lot of them, but it was the Force and Styles and the Slipknot. I think Hixie was on it too,
Yeah.
and I was really like that's my thing. I suppose it's from you want to know what you didn't know from back.
Yeah.
From us growing
Find
up
out.
looking at the tapes and going, was it actually like this? And you
Had
hear about
that.
the dodgy parties and the.
I know. I had a little Lawrence John in last week. Like, you weren't down for that there one. Like, that was good.
I want to
to
hear that.
how he came to like Energy 106 and his other radio days doing other stuff. Like, I loved it just listening to him. Like,
Yeah, Energy 106. That was
massive.
just everybody listened to it, and that's how tunes were made back then. It was just through that, like all the big cheesy
I made
ones.
them in Brooklyn. Like,
Yeah.
so.
Even that Superstar, really.
Aye, that's what we're talking about. Like, Superstar, like, that came from there and never looked back.
Yeah,
It's fucking still going strong.
it's all the cheesy stuff, but even everybody loves it. Like even parties we put on, like that beach party and all, we shouldn't have used their thing.
Oh, aye.
But who did we have? Stevie, no,
Danny D.
Danny D, yeah,
Aye.
Danny D. That was a brilliant.
So we had this idea for a beach party. We done it down in Carrick, and we had the bright idea of getting like a plastic sheeting right across the floor.
Yep. And all the sand.
And we thought we'll put loads of sand on this here, so it's like when then we'll have blow up palm trees and shit. And we thought,
Parrots and all. Looked the
you know,
part.
beach party. It's a beach party. It looked amazing, but then we didn't have the foresight to think that girls would be in high heels and then walking on that plastic floor. It was ripped up every fucking week.
We didn't have to clean it, but
I know. I think it was the last night too. I don't think we went back
I
after.
think it was Wee McNeese one of the last times I was talking to him because he was working on the place at the time. And he says, because it was, what do you call the fella who owned it?
Jax or something.
Yeah, it was Jack's, but
Amin?
Yeah, it was Amin, but whoever was there the next day, I think it was McNeese, says he had to clean it up. There was just sand everywhere.
Sand everywhere.
What the fuck does he have for?
It was a good idea. It just wasn't executed very well.
Yeah, that again, it was cheesy. It was all the energy stuff, and that's not what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Danny
Didn't
was really good that there now, I must say.
Danny was outstanding, but it's just there wasn't really that many people there, and that's because that didn't. Harry doesn't really like cheese.
No, it wasn't that
from
bar.
our experience.
I was the kind of bar that only half the people would have drunk in, and the half that did drunk in it were probably in the middle of a big fight down. And,
Yeah.
yeah. And then you had our mates banning our mates from getting in. Remember
was
Colin
loads
and
of fun.
Chunky? Like, they didn't speak for 5 years after that there.
That again,
one
that was the
interaction.
fight, and it started that, and I think it was 3 nights we had down there,
Yeah.
maybe 4 at a push. I could have that place. I think it was like a 10 grand sound system or something you just put in there. It could have been something. And again, no. But yeah, so many if buts and maybes, and
Yeah.
I just would have loved that. It's like we were always trying to get what Mark Wesley done with Kudos and the radio show. and was just consistency every week. And that's maybe what you're doing with a podcast. It's like, because
It is. It takes a lot. Like, it's consistency, putting your face out there.
you always had it. Like every week we would have went out and came back and listened to AWOL. And it was always on. And if you weren't there, you were taping it to see who was on it. No, but yeah, every week and live, and they had.
Same with the play. I always wonder if is my show on like a Thursday night that I do. Is there somebody that does that? Somebody listens back to see what he played or whatever.
Sure, I'm sure there is. It's what was it Glenn Papis or was it Lawrence John done the commercial dance thing?
Glenn Pavis done the original one in Cool FM
Yeah.
before Mark Wesley, or was it after Mark Wesley?
Because he was BCR, wasn't it?
No, Eddie Ray done BCR.
Eddie Ray, that's what it was, and that was Westbound Wizards of Sonic, and yeah, and your scooter moved your ass.
And
back in
Gordon the
time.
Gopher. No, what did he have? He had like a wee gopher. Do you remember? Like beep 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 beep. He used to talk.
No.
Hopefully Eddie hasn't went the same way as fucking Philip Schofield with his Gordon the Gopher.
See, I was really hopeful. There was a thing came up on YouTube. This was a few years back. It was Mark Wesley was doing. It was Cool FM. I think it was like a pilot, a show that he was going to do. And he was on the decks and all. And I was, thank fuck, this is exactly what everybody needs. I think there's only one up on his YouTube. He didn't keep going with it. I wish he had it. But maybe it's only me. But I like this sort of podcast sort of thing as well. But I would. He's a fucking icon. You know, like we grew up listening to him. Same with Tyser. I wish Tyser was doing one every week. I'd be listening to it. But
I know it's mad how like Tyser was at the pinnacle and then the hardcore stopped and then it just sort of. And it would be interesting to see what he says about that there. Like, then Mark Wesley was the same. Mark Wesley was the peak once the coach finished, but it just.
Yep, that's it. Boom. And that'll be interesting to hear as well. Like, Spaso done really well to get to where he was.
Barry's hopefully going to come in here soon. Actually, might do Barry next week if he's free.
I said it to you in a message. I'm really excited about this. I
know, listening to everyone.
I think you're really on to something, but then many idiots are like me that wants to listen to this.
I don't know. I love them all too. I love them when I see if Mallorca put a new one up. I'm like, happy days. Gets me through my Chinese deliveries.
Yep.
Okay. Right, so we'll leave it here anyway, and thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
We survived.
So did we find out what went wrong?
No, probably. Everything went wrong.
Ah, sure. It's not over yet.
That's why we're still here. And we're going. Well, we're not going. I wish, I feel like there's still some gas in the tank to try.
Definitely. Well, that's it. Do you think you'll ever give up?
Probably not. Probably be, like I say, we'll be entertaining the oldies in the old people's home. We'll be bringing the decks out.
Yeah.
We'll all be bits and pieces.
Palm Grove reunion, the old people's home.
Bits and pieces with the simmer frames and all. Yeah. And then somebody breaking their hip.
Yeah. Special medication.
So thanks for coming in, and that'll do us.
Thank you.
Jaws.
True.
Adios.